Yo, what's up? What's up? This your guy Ray Hanma, one versus a million. Oh Lord, help! Hopefully I can be heard. Hopefully I can be heard. Praise unto the Most High first and foremost. Praise unto the Most High God for blessing me to make it to see another birthday. Amen. So I appreciate it. Yes, and this is the birthday stream. This is the introduction stream to the Rumble, to the big main event that we'll have on Rumble, which will be, as you see, according to the thumbnail, Dave Chappelle's new stand up. uh, my nigga was hilarious though, and he was talking some real shit on certain points, on certain things that I caught. Um, but granted, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like 16 minutes, and I was kind of geeked about the fact, okay, I was able to actually download it in this new source that I use, and which is not my typical conventional method of retrieving it, but I managed to retrieve it. So I'm like, yes, I was able to get it. So I got that. But for right now, in this stream where we will be sharing some Geek-verse news, all things, relating into the geekdom. And yeah, and also some effery. Some effery. I will be sharing some brothers and sisters streams, some of their videos. So yeah, we'll be and also I got some, just some other stuff, so basically just some bunch of different videos all together. And yeah, including some things that intrigue me. But yeah, if you're here, please hit the like, share, subscribe, and thank you guys for coming through. I see Brother Snowman in the chat. Thank you, Brother Snowman, Brother Andre. Salute to you, and thank all you guys too for the birthday wishes that you gave on your channels or through other people's channels uh, here recently. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, if you guys can, please bless your brother Hama with the cash app. Appreciate it. I'll be grateful for that. Lord knows. Um, Even though I'm still kind of excited though to be here to actually make it here, with you guys because this has been one hell of a year for me. And I can imagine for a lot of other people too as well. A lot of lives lost. Um, we lost some decent people, some real good people, and so, but yeah, and I just want to just be all that enthused with you guys, that enthusiastic because man, it's just that real, and to be here to share these videos that I gathered up for you guys for this birthday stream. So as we will be chopping it up and breaking down each one. So yeah, and if you guys feel like coming up to, I will drop the link for you guys to pop up. And yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, man. Certain guys, certain brothers I be checking out in the morning, boy. Man, y'all gotta pick it up. Sometimes it be kind of draggy. Sometimes I'm like, oh god. I'm like, man, let's just get to the point. I'm like, just play the video, man. Play the video. I know that's how some of y'all be sometimes. You know what I mean? With some of your brothers, sisters in space, that you watch. Uh, you're like, come on, man. Like, okay, hit the next point. Boom. It's like you need a monologue for each point, but. Um, But yeah, so I want to start just sharing some stuff. Let's have fun, guys. Let's have fun. And yes, oh, Sister Gail, thank you, Sister Gail, for coming through. Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, please hit the like, share, subscribe. Yes, thank you for coming through. Yes, and I want to share something from Sister Gail too. Something that that hit me hard because I can totally relate to this situation of this young man or what he's been put through. So, and yeah, we will get to that, you know, in time comes. So, but yeah. So let me see what I got on my list right here. That I'm gonna share first with you guys. Let's see. I'm gonna share. Huh. I may end up having myself on mute too. So hold on. Hey, I was rocking out to that music too. Man, it just bring like a great sense of nostalgia, especially if you're, a child of the '80s, a child from the '80s. So yeah, yeah, certain things like that. It's like, man, it hits you. And hmm, yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that one. I'm like, boy, you see my girl Chun Li's thighs, boy. Man, you see those quads, son? Yeah, yeah. The dude who drew that said, he drew that on purpose. Like when when Chun Li first came out. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, so they made it pretty evident, the Asian dudes, of what they like. So I'm like, damn. All right. So yeah, let's
Some of you may know, some of you may not know. I'm Korean. I'm Korean American. I was born here in the States. But let's talk about this. Is not a complicated conversation, okay? K-pop is not some isolated cultural phenomenon. It's black music and black culture. A lot of you guys have been DMing me. What do you think about K-pop? So I'm addressing it right now. It is black R&B, hip hop, pop, systemized through a Korean entertainment industry machine. Not an opinion, it's facts, okay? It's history. Let me take you to the very first K-pop group ever in 1992 called Seo and Boys, Seotaeji와 아이들. If you listen to their songs, you can probably name the songs they copied. I'm gonna play for you one of their songs called Come Back Home, okay? You tell me what song it is.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
Now, I know Cypress Hill is more of a Latino, right, American hip hop group, but what I'm trying to explain to you is that that's what they did from the very beginning. So from the very beginning, from the very first K-pop group ever, okay, it was ambiguous, it was borrowed, it was stolen. And the framework still remains today. We have the 808s, we have the syncopation, we have the hi-hats, we have the melismas, we have the call and response, we have all of the things that black music, it's black music. And I'd also like to add that most of the K-pop hits now are being written by black writers and produced by black producers. It's not just the sound, right? Because it's the culture, it's the mannerisms, it's the hair, it's the fashion, it's the choreography, it's the slang, it's all of the things that it's taken from black culture. It did not come from Korean traditional culture. This is where I get uncomfortable talking about this, but here I am, okay? Black artists were historically marginalized. They were penalized. They were excluded because of these very things. And yet, when it comes from K-pop, it's globally accepted and it's even rewarded. What is that? That's not influence. That's racism. And as a Korean American woman working in the music industry, I want to tell Korea, like, do better. Grow up in this conversation, right? If you want to steal, if you want to take, if you're claiming that it's borrowed inspiration, then at least respect the source, at least credit it visibly. And also, let's evolve beyond imitation. Let's evolve, because it's giving cultural appropriation, not respect.
Well, well, well. Damn it. Say that again, girl. Hell yeah, you damn right. Damn right it came from us. Shit. Hence, which is why, damn it, boy, when they be getting it going, damn it, when they be jamming, when they be rocking out, boy, it just hits the chords of my soul. You hear me? And I'm like jamming, damn it, bouncing my head and shit. You know what I mean? And, I was like, Ray, motherfuckers told me before, like, Ray, you understand what they saying, man? No, I don't. But damn it, it sounds awesome. Hell yeah. Damn it, it's because shit, they got their shit from us. They got their style, damn it, from us. Rhythm and all. And so yes, and she's right. Props needs to go to us. Damn it. Always bet on black. So you did. Let me go ahead and show this one. Okay. Oh, let me put my icon up so people can know that I'm there. But okay. Hmm. And I've seen her. She has another video on Instagram too, and she look beautiful too. Beautiful looking soul. Not just because she's Asian, but the spirit that she presented. So, all right, and well, I might as well go down the list then. Okay, since it's kind of like a mix up. All right, let's start out with brother Xanatos Clutch. Shout out to my brother Xanatos Clutch. Amen. Amen. The first brother, actually, mind you, that who's the one told me to stop calling these stop calling these creatures queens. Boy, because like I used the term whatever in the beginning, about red pill stages. You know what I mean? So my beginning stages, he checked me too. This is like over on O'Shea shit. So when I called up a couple times and talked to O'Shea and LAR, so man, well, that was a long ass time ago. So yeah, so here we go, and go and subscribe to my brother Xanatos Clutch. Yes, sir. Because after this, we are gonna get into Big Sister Gillet Knights. content. All right. And shout out to her. And please go subscribe. And please, Miss Sister Gail, drop your link in there for the good people. Amen. And if you can, please, if you will, Big Sis, if you do have it, please drop for me Brother Xanatos Clutches link, if you can. I appreciate it. All right, here we go.
Shallow, if you're still here. Today we got a compilation of, well, you see it in the title, on why German women might be better for black men. In this first story, we have a sister girl who...
Let me start that shit over again. Yeah, my icon was covered. Okay, here we go.
Shallow, if you're still here. Today we got a compilation of, well, you see it in the title, on why German women might be better for black men. In this first story, we have a sister girl who is actually married to a brother, but she actually agrees with this statement. And let's listen to the reason why.
The woman did not lie when she was talking about us black women. She ain't lie at all. I seen a lot of people, they was mad. Like, they was mad at her. And it's like, why are you mad? If you're mad, that means there's some things you need to correct in yourself. Hey, I even took one little thing that she said. I was like, I do need to eat that up right there because I don't be doing that. But everything else, I be doing for my man, period. 10 toes down, I do those things. But a lot of black women do not value men. A lot of women, period, in America don't value men. And that's the problem. We don't value men, and we can't keep making the excuse of, oh, my upbringing, I was brought up like this or like that, and that's why X, Y, and Z. You know, because the German lady in the video, she said she was brought up with those morals of valuing men, so she did just that. But hey, I didn't grow up like her, okay? I grew up like pretty much every normal black woman in America. That's how I grew up. But I did not learn. I took the good from my parents and from my mom, and then I threw away the bad. And I was like, okay, obviously there's some changes that I need to do for myself. And that's what a lot of us need to do. A lot of us don't be wanting to do that. But that German lady, she ain't lied. She did not say anything false about us black women. We need to get it together. Like, and with my man, we have talked sometimes, and sometimes he talks about like the previous relationships that he was in and how the basic stuff that I feel like is basic that I do for him, he's like, I've never had that happen to me. Like, I've never had a woman ever care for me like that or do this X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, these are normal things that should be done. Like, us women need to step it up. Like, if you want to be in a committed relationship via marriage, you want to be married to a good man, you have to treat him right, and you have to be a respectable woman to honor a man and to respect a man. Like, a lot of us in America do not value men. We don't. In America, we do not value men. Other countries, other women in other countries, they know how to value men. They know how to respect them. And that's what we need to come back to in America. Like, we be flunking at that, and then y'all be mad when black men go outside of the race and get with someone who values them. Thank God.
And we're gonna have a story about that in a bit after she cooks.
That my man, I was able to be in his life for him to find me, because he would have probably went somewhere else too, because there's not a lot of us black women in our community that can care for our black men the right way.
Especially productive black men.
And some people may say like, that's sus what I just said right there, but if you want to be married, you gotta like respect your husband. You gotta respect the man. You gotta value that man at some point in time. Like, before, like, not at some point in time, but you have to value that man. Like, you got to get that in your head to value masculinity. And a lot of women don't want to value masculinity. They do not like it. They prefer feminine men, like, to be honest. But the German lady, she didn't lie not one bit. She ain't lied not one bit, and it's eating people up. It's eating them up. But hey, I love to see it. Anything that comes out that is someone speaking truth and it's making us mad, just think, if it's making you mad and it's ruffling your feathers, it's probably something you need to self-reflect on with yourself. So, yeah, we got to get it together. There's going to be a lot of African-American women not married because we do not want to listen. We do not want to obtain the knowledge that's being given out. Like, it's going to be a lot of people unmarried, and they're going to pretend like they don't want to be married, but the older they get, it'll start to bleed out. Like, I really did want to get married, and now I'm 50, and I really did X, Y, and Z. And if you in the comments and you say otherwise, just leave the comments to yourself, okay? But yeah.
All right. Wow. She's not. Wow. Okay. Yeah. And most of the daggles in the comments. I'm gonna say this. Most of the daggles in the comments. Yeah. Yeah. They're just daggling away. Now you got some sisters who are women. I'm not gonna call them sisters, but women who actually have some sense. But yeah, I have the link to her channel. She just spoke a lot of truth there that I just had to cook. And yeah, this is definitely a woman who knows the worth of black men, specifically black men who are on point. And let's see the kind of black men that she got with. So this is her page right here. She's a bit thick. I'm not gonna lie, she's a bit thick. Too thick for me, honestly. But okay, and let's see if we can.
He said too thick for him.
Oh, so that's her. Oh, that's her man. Oh, look at this. Look at this. So she did chose up a brother. She did. And overall, what she said, and I think the video she's referring to was possibly the Turkish-German chick who had the black man, and the sister has had an attitude. Anyway, I'll put that link in the description as well. But and like,
she don't look as heavy in that video.
That's the freaking truth. Maybe I might do another video about that later on. But yeah, she brings up a lot of facts in this video. A lot of facts that I can't deny. Because yes, you do have a lot of women. And she didn't just criticize black women. She criticized American women. American women for not valuing American men. Now, I get it. There aren't a lot to value when it comes to either men or women these days who are from the States. But this gender warring that we're seeing today is not it. This is more it than anything else. And I'm assuming the backstory behind her is that she is probably in Germany. Her husband is probably either stationed there or is some sort of worker there, some sort of contractor or whatnot. And she realizes the competition that exists overseas. And mind you, Germany is one of those places where it is almost as Western as the US. To the point where you are basically dealing with a lot of the same. A lot of people who cry about feminism and women having too much power and all this kind of stuff. Don't think about going to Germany if you're expecting a downgrade. Don't think about going to Germany. You're expecting women to submit and do all this other kind of stuff to you because they have no money. Now, you will find women, German women, who will cook a meal for you, who will cooperate, who will even submit to a degree or two. But it won't be because of your wallet. It won't be because she's trying to get out. It'll be because she actually wants to, which might be better in some ways. So there's that. But as you can see here, she got her man. She was able to find something. She was able to grab a brother who, if he was in Germany, granted, the story pans out to be true. Well, it is probably true, but let's just say she caught him at the last stop before this. What's this? My German fiance tries Waffle House for the first time. And to be honest, the audio isn't great, so I'll put it in a lower volume because it's just mostly the dialogue. You can read it, but yeah, let's just see what they're talking about.
So you want to have it plain?
Yeah, so I can really judge if it's good or not. No?
You gotta.
That's like, if you add something to it, it's not the original taste. Right?
You gotta have the syrup, in my opinion, but. Ooh, the look, yo, the eyes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now try it with the syrup?
Fluffy.
Yeah, you want to try it with the syrup now? Just a little bit?
Hey, let me tell you something about Germans. Germans like their original flavor. They don't like additives. They don't like freaking condiments. And they believe that if something is not good at its original form, then it sucks. But that's what she was complaining about, or she wanted to try the waffle without the syrup at first. And here's this American pouring on syrup. Because our food sucks.
Now they sell the Waffle House mix too, so we could like make it at home with the
really?
with the waffle maker. Yeah, it probably won't be as good as theirs.
It's good.
Have some
It's
more.
not like too sweet or anything too.
Yeah. You say it reminds you of what?
It reminds me of Belgian waffles.
Yeah, it
And
tastes.
like Belgium is famous for their waffles. So,
Belgian waffles.
I don't even think plain waffle is like sweet at all. Like really sweet.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Oh, this looks so good. It looks so hard.
Yeah. First time eating the hash browns. You don't like them?
They're not my favorite.
Oh damn! Try with the ketchup.
Girl, I don't care. We ain't wasting no food.
I'm missing a little bit of the original potato taste.
Oh yeah.
To me,
Ah!
it tastes a little bit like old fat.
Who's that?
You know
I
what
know
I
what you
mean?
mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Not my favorite, but yeah.
Sausage, egg, and cheese. You like it? Good. Yeah. First time at Waffle House. Trying.
All right, shout out to this brother. What's his name? Samuel Hunter. Samuel I. Hunter. Shout out to him and his German fiance that he was able to get. I'm not sure if they met in Germany or here in the States or wherever, but from the sound of it, she sounds like she just came from there. And look at this. Oh, look at her. She's so adorable. And yes, this is gonna be one of those channels where he's talking about track and field. You're goofball. You're trying to do well for a base Becky. Yeah, this is one of those channels because every other channel basically tries to witch hunt couples like this. Try to get couples like this off the internet. All these freaking commercials in America that you see here are basically like you swap the races and the genders. And that's what you get. Oh, we're so progressive, but we barely have black men and non-black women on commercials. It's the opposite. Oh my God. Do not get me started. Don't get me started. But every other country you go to Canada, you go to Germany, you go to UK, go to Australia. And the Aussies love to use race with their jokes. They love to ball bust with racism. But that's a whole nother subject. Even those countries, they will have more interracial couples of this kind on commercials and on TV and on shows and on sitcoms, and in Prawn 2. But yeah. And they won't be like the freaking Tyrones or the Pookies. They'll be like normal looking dudes, like railing or making love or sleeping in bed with, or having kids with good looking women. Good looking chicks like her. Anyway. Samuel Issaquah. Samuel Issaquah Hunter. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So that's his channel. Let's see what's up with this guy. All right, so oh, look at this! Look at this engagement shoot. No, we're not playing music. We're not playing music. Better not be copyrighted. I'm going to freaking edit this video anyway. Look at this. I'm just gonna leave it here, and I'm just gonna spit for a bit. Like Lonnie Love said. Especially when it comes to black men and even American men, all men get in here, right? We need to treat our men better in this country. We do, because otherwise you have stuff like this that will occur. The latest census and stats say that 30% of black men, especially those with a bachelor's degree or higher, are marrying out. A lot of black men are now traveling. And this is before passport bros and then basically trying to usher in Pookies and the community to do the same thing that brothers like this were doing, or us were doing for decades on end. It wasn't just the Brads and the Biffs and the Jimbos who were traveling. It was us too. But it was more refined brothers like this. Brothers who had some damn sense. But now, I guess the passport pros want to join in, and I guess they're being sponsored by three-letter agencies in order to ruin the black man image overseas. Don't get me started. In any case, what Lonnie Love said was correct in regards of black men needing, or women, Keishas, or even basic Beckys here, stepping it up, needing to step it up in order to keep your men. And that's if you consider your men worth keeping. Because otherwise, they're going to do this. They're going to go to Germany. They're going to go to the UK. They're going to go to France. And some of them might even go to Spain or Portugal if they're lucky enough. Mainly because Spain, well, Portugal's cool. Spain, it's a toss-up. But better yet, the real ones, the ones who know, they will go to the Baltics. They will go to Poland. Oh, did I piss off the white manosphere and lead your men in that? Don't go Poland. They'll go to Croatia. They'll go to Romania. All the maggots who haven't even left the country are getting pissed off now. We're approaching Hungary. Serbia. Serbia. No. Whoa. We will not talk about Bulgaria. Anyway, Scandinavia. Well, if you want to freeze, I mean, it's great if you want to freeze your ass off half the year. But yeah, I mean, this time of the year you might not want to go. But yeah, when the ice breaks, Scandinavia, okay. Especially if you're tall. Because the women there are tall. So you don't mind a chick being taller than you, and trust me, they are not as picky when it comes to height as your basic American broad. It's funny enough that the American broad, who is the least sought after, tends to be the pickiest. And when it comes to basic Beckies, tend to be the most racist. And another women tend to be most racist. But they're the ones who are basically dragging men through the mud with alimony and all that other happy horse crap. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But then again, this is the same. I hate to say this, but the motherland, the fatherland, Europe, these are the same individuals who decided that instead of bringing black men who were being persecuted in America and were going to be persecuted for another, well, just a few for several more decades, instead of having them stay in Europe and rebuild Europe, help, because I mean the bases were already there, right? So you might as well just kept the brothers there too, because since we weren't wanted in America after World War II, we could have just helped Europe rebuild, and then let's just say you wouldn't have a migrant or population crisis issue. Let's just say that if you would have chose, if Europe would have chose correctly, then we could have avoided a lot more issues. And you, anyway, sister girls, basic Beckies, you can all learn a thing too from European femininity. And some people say, the European guys say, well, the European women aren't as feminine as they were. Hey, I don't see these same German or hell European men coming to America looking for women. So what does that say? What does that say? Anyway, everyone else out there, shout out to the SYSBM guys, keeping the fight alive. Shout out to all my brothers who are finding peace elsewhere. And for everyone else out there, always bet on X.
Yes, thank you, brother Clutch, man. Yes, that's big brother Xanatos Clutch. Shout out to him. Yes. Oh man, let's dive. Yes, and what the girl said in the beginning, yeah, she's right. And she performed the first wise step as in basically to take the time to listen to the German woman, telling her, what the problem is, with a lot of the women here in America, including black, more predominantly black women. And yeah, she chose to take that correction. She chose to take heed, thus by admitting that she was lacking in a certain area that she chose to work upon. So therefore, so she can be better for him to more add on to his peace that he has already built for himself, because he doesn't need for you to come forth with any form of wickedness that will be life force draining. And the thing is just that there's a lot of cats that need to realize a lot of these women are too far gone. So therefore, so the women whom those who are wiser now, the young women the older women who needs to be teaching is these younger chicks, the women who are already taken, who are completing their duty before God, amen, by establishing their duty for their husband. They need to speak up and focus on talking to the women, the young women who are not too far gone. Because we know and we've seen this clearly. There's a bunch of damn evidence that shows that a lot of women are too far gone. Unfortunate, but hey, but true. You know, as I say, hey, speaking this truth without all that red pill raging bullshit, and just stating, hey, calmly that's what it is, and if we don't straighten up, yeah, that we are going to go elsewhere. Hence the black man who was with the German woman. Hopefully, I'm still here, yeah, because I got a call that came in. But yeah, the black man who was with the German woman, seeing how happy and jolly he was, and black women see that and be like, well, how come he can't do that for me and share his resources with me and all that? Well, in all was, truly genuine, you gotta establish yourself as being the woman that God has ordained for you to be, which is woman is a meekness, kindness, shut upness, especially when it comes to two men talking. You'll need to interject yourself or to try to interject yourself to speak for the man, like a lot of women do for their boyfriends and husbands in this American realm. So that that was cool to see. But the thing is, though, well, bro, brother Clutch, he knows good and damn well, brother Clutch. You know good damn well that some of these heifers are too far gone. Are too far gone. Hell, their wickedness knows no bounds. Yep, and they're so wicked to where they are willing to sabotage a man. I don't care to call back women to the table, women who have a record of, if you ask them a question, say like there's a lineup of 10 women and you ask them the question, raise your hand if you are known to take a man to court, if you have taken a man to court. All those chicks that will raise their hands, super red flags. You see, we have a lot of men in this country, a lot of beta male men, giant ass men. A lot of them, mind you, who are at higher echelons than I. But I am way better off than their ass because at the echelon where they're at and all of what they have accumulated, I don't give a damn if they own two buildings in a neighborhood. They're gonna have to give. They're basically in the path of giving a woman half of their fortune. So yeah, I'm good. Damn all that. And then the same millionaire dumbasses get married again. I don't think it's okay because they got you know even though they get married 2, 3 times or 4 times that the alimony and all that and child support just stops with the first wife. Now I believe, damn it, it's it's alimony for the second one, damn it, child support is the same, damn it, for the third one. Dude, nah, man. I don't give a damn if you got the money to do it. And some cats, and I believe I've seen a few of them in this space that kind of like pose themselves, gave themselves a great pose, with their chest out while they talk about it, hey, that they got 3, 4 baby mamas, shoot, they good, they try and pull a Nick Cannon and a Future and a Cam Newton, I got the money, huh? They cool, they all got they all got their own house and damn all that. The man overseas will laugh at your ass for doing some dumb shit like that because a lot of them damn it have all 3 of their damn wives in one house. Stop it. Stop it. Clearly their way seemed to make more damn sense. And all 3 wives are getting along. Even though I don't know if I'm at the capacity of them ever handling 3 wives. But yeah. So, but yeah, that's real talk. And Brother Clutch got some more good videos for y'all to check out. Oh, especially that one video. Oh man, with that one white dude. Oh man, that white dude was on there talking about, hey man, the white dude he was showing was talking about another guy. It was acting all thirsty and simping. She was like, hey man, you stop your simping, man. You know, you simping over his chick over hearing that man. And you don't know, dude. Her, she got a boyfriend, and they working in some kind of organization, and she's basically, online making money, and she's getting your money just to give to him, all the while she's just showing you them a little cheek, and you're spraying. Yeah, this is what dude said. He said you're and you all spraying Brogert all over your damn computer. Oh boy, that was hilarious. So yeah, to check more of his stuff out, man. But yes, but definitely check out this one here, Sister Gail at Night. Thank you. Yes, who's in the chat, and please make sure to put your channel link in there as well. Yes, for them to check out. Yes, and she has a lot of great, useful content. Yes, it's very informative. Very informative. Both of them have very informative content in their channel. So, but definitely, yes, check out Miss Sister Gail right here. All right, so and we are going to play one of hers, and check this out with me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Gale at Night. So I got some news out of Hollywood and it doesn't involve a new blockbuster. I'm talking about Netflix, fraud, luxury cars, and a trial verdict that's making headlines across the entertainment world. Carl Eric Wrench, the director best known for the 2013 film 47 Ronin. He was just found guilty in federal court of defrauding Netflix out of $11 million that was supposed to be toward a sci-fi series called White Horse. A Manhattan federal jury convicted Wrench on 7 counts, including wire fraud, money laundering, and illegal monetary transactions. That means, in the eyes of the court, he didn't just mismanage the money, he intentionally misused it. Here's what prosecutors said happened. Netflix had already invested tens of millions in the show, but when Wrench asked for an extra $11 million in 2020, prosecutors claimed the deal was a sham. So instead of spending it on production, the money was funneled into his personal accounts. And once that money hit his accounts, according to prosecutors, it wasn't used to finish the series. It went to things like 5 Rolls Royces, a Ferrari, luxury watches, antiques and high-end furniture, risky investments in crypto and stocks. Netflix declined to comment publicly on the verdict, but they had paid Rents roughly $44 million already for the project before this final $11 million payment that became the centerpiece of the fraud case. Now, here's what's next. Wrench is scheduled to be sentenced in April 2026. The charges theoretically carry a maximum of up to 9 years in prison, though legal experts expect a much shorter sentence. His defense team calls the verdict troubling, saying it could set a bad precedent for creative disputes between artists and big companies. But the jury didn't buy that argument and ultimately found him guilty on all counts.
Scene out of a movie.
Was all this legal?
But instead, it's about a movie, or a movie maker, that is. Carl Eric Wrench, arrested Tuesday over charges including wire fraud and money laundering, alleging he defrauded Netflix out of $11 million. Acting U.S. Attorney Matthew Podolsky in a statement saying, quote, as alleged, Carl Eric Wrench orchestrated a scheme to steal millions by soliciting a large investment from a video streaming service, claiming that money would be used to finance a television show that he was creating. But that was fiction. While Netflix isn't named in the indictment, in 2018 the filmmaker sold a sci-fi series, White Horses, to the streamer for $44 million, as first reported by the New York Times. And a year later, he said he needed more money to complete the series. In March of 2020, Netflix paid $11 million more to finish the show, according to the indictment. Prosecutors say, quote, Wrench began transferring the funds he received through a number of different bank accounts before consolidating them in a personal brokerage account. And in 2 months, lost more than half of it. Our attempts to reach representation for Wrench were unsuccessful.
Likely the transfer to these different accounts contributed to the government's decision to charge money laundering.
And what else do prosecutors say he did with the money? According to the indictment, there was money spent to speculate on cryptocurrency, $1,787,000 in credit card bills, over $1 million on lawyer fees to sue Netflix, and even more for a divorce. He spent $395,000 to stay at the Four Seasons and other luxury rentals, almost $4 million on furniture and antiques, nearly $700,000 on 2 mattresses, and almost $300,000 on the sheets. Plus the 5 Rolls Royces, the Ferrari, the watches, and the clothing, totaling over $3 million.
Expect the defense to try and characterize these expenditures as not personal, but instead income that he was entitled to and income that he went out and spent on. That still may be a difficult argument to make.
We reached out to Netflix, and a spokesperson has declined to comment. The arrest coming less than a year after Netflix was awarded $8.8 million in damages, a sum a judge ruled Wrench spent on non-production costs, in an arbitration initiated by the filmmaker, who alleged the streaming giant owed him $14 million.
Yasmin Vasugian joins us now in studio. Yasmin, walk us through the specific charges here. And in terms of time, if this filmmaker is convicted, how long could he be behind bars?
So he's looking at 7 separate counts, 1 count of wire fraud, 1 count of money laundering, 5 counts engaging in monetary transactions and property derived from specified unlawful activity. Reading directly here from the indictment, he's looking at upwards of 90 years. So the rest of his life in prison, 10 years each for those 5 counts and 20 years possibly each for those 1 count of wire fraud and money laundering. Will he get that if, in fact, he's found guilty? Likely no, but he could certainly get a significant sentencing here for some of these major counts.
So that's the story. A big Hollywood director, a failed sci-fi project, and a courtroom drama with serious legal consequences. If this changes the way Netflix or other studios handle future creators and funding, we'll keep you posted. But y'all see how Netflix seems to go up every other month on us, won't let us share our account with your mama now. So I'm going to just mind my business. If you have anything to say about this, drop it in the comments below. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. This is Gail at Night. Thank you all for watching and thank you for supporting. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and set the bell to all.
Okay, let me get on this motherfucker. Yeah, like I said, that motherfucker looks crooked. He looks up to no damn good. I'm like, yeah, he looks like he got trust issues. You know, for one to have with him, like, yeah, he motherfucker looks half drunk, like look, he looks like he's on something, and plus, I think they're gonna give him maybe like something that's gonna be close to the equivalent of a slap on the wrist. You know what I mean? Because one, he's white. Two, he has a lot of money. Now, unless they ruled out okay that he's uh that he definitely has to pay. That it's ordered. Okay, then that means that the government has their way or they're gonna use their way of being able to dip their hand in his wallet, in his digital wallet, and get all that damn fund and get their funds back. They try to turn around and say, "Oh no, they're the ones that owe me. They're the ones that owe me." Uh, it sound like motherfucker ain't trying to take accountability, you know. And yes, and I do hope, Sister Gail, that this will, that they'll take some great lessons from this, you know what I mean, and better orchestrate how they do business and vet their these filmmakers, these directors and shit like that. So yeah, I hope it. I hope they do because 47 Ronin, damn it, with Keanu Reeves, that was it 47 or was it 7? Yeah, I think it was 47. Yeah, yeah, I think it was in 47 Ronin. That one was awesome. I seen both of them, even though like I'm vaguely like familiar with certain, it's coming like little vague images because I've seen a whole bunch of shit since then. Yeah, but from what I remember, both of them was great. And damn, it just sucks to see like a good director be on some shady ass shit. I'm like, dude, all that money and the shit that this dude, what was reported, what he spent his money on. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? What the fuck? I'm like, I mean, damn, it's still crooked as hell. It's like, okay, I'm like, well, he should have taken that money and split, like left the country type of shit, in knowing that the shit would come back, to bite him in the ass. He should have been long gone somewhere down where they couldn't reach him. Establish some offshore accounts that they can't touch. Shit, come on, man. And he's white too, so yeah, so he got connections to be able to establish that. But oh man, I was like, damn, shit, millions of dollars. Some crazy shit. And damn it, a sci-fi project that failed because I mean that they had like what in contract together, him and Netflix, which was called what I believe White Horse or some shit. So with a good decent director like that, hell, and me being another lover of a fellow lover of sci-fi, I would have checked it out. But oh well, bullshit like that, causes causes blessings, that could come your way to crumble and go to somebody else. But yeah, let's check out this other video of Sister Gail's that I got. So I don't want to share too much of her stuff, but enough to where you guys can go off to her, and subscribe. And thank you, big sis, though, for letting me share it.
What if key medical evidence in one of the most talked about trials of the decade wasn't what the jury was told it was? In December 2025, new filings reignited controversy around the conviction of rapper Tory Lanez. Lanez and his legal team submitted an official expert report to the court, alleging 60 fraudulent errors in the medical records used during his 2022 trial for the shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. These claims now form the basis of a new appeal filed after the California 2nd District Court of Appeal affirmed his conviction in November 2025. According to the defense, the concerns focus almost entirely on the medical evidence presented to jurors. First, they point to missing and conflicting documents. Lane's team says a document titled Evidence is absent from the trial record. That document allegedly states a hospital security guard received foreign bodies or bullet fragments from surgical staff. This is notable because detectives testified during trial that no bullet fragments were ever recovered. Next are technical irregularities within the medical files themselves. A software expert retained by the defense reports altered or overwritten text, non-functioning QR codes, and inconsistent formatting across documents, issues they argue should have raised questions about the record's integrity. The defense also claims withheld information, alleging they were denied access to roughly 300 additional pages of medical records during the original trial, limiting their ability to fully examine or challenge the evidence. Another key issue raised is the absence of the surgeon. The doctor who operated on Megan's foot, identified as Dr. Little, did not testify at trial. Lane's attorneys now say the surgeon cannot currently be located, despite being central to the medical narrative presented to the jury. Finally, the report highlights insurance billing records that allegedly show the surgery lasted only 60 seconds. Yet, it resulted in a $118,000 medical bill. Lane's team characterizes this as a medical impossibility, suggesting the billing conflicts with standard surgical practices. As of now, Tory Lanez is serving a 10-year prison sentence at the California Men's Colony. In addition to ongoing appeals, his legal team has also petitioned California Governor Gavin Newsom for pardon or clemency. The court has not ruled on these allegations, but they raise fresh questions about evidence, access, and transparency in a case many believe was already settled. So what are your thoughts, guys? Put them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. This is Gail at Night.
Yeah. Talk about me being pissed. And I got something too, Sister Gail, and y'all, relating to the last video that I shared of hers. But this here, it just pissed me off, man, when they keep doing such evil to us innocent black man. The decency within a lot of us can be questioned. But if a man did not do something, he didn't do it. Free, free Tory Lanez, motherfuckers. Right fucking now. Free Tory Lanez. This shit is ridiculous. What the fuck are y'all doing? You fucked up judicial system. We know you ain't fucked up. You know, we didn't just come to the knowledge of you motherfuckers are being beyond fucked up. Come on, Trump. I know you got this Epstein file shit going on, so you can't, deal with such issues, whatever, right now, whatever the fuck. But this is a big major problem. These are the type of things that cause riots, a whole revolt, mutiny, motherfucker. The fucking medical documents was fraudulent. And one of the medical documented pieces that was missing is about the bullet fragments, where the detective lied, said that there was no fragments. So I'm like, what the fuck? And this tells me I have a theory that maybe Rock Nation is involved because don't she belong to don't Megan Thee Stallion belong to Rock Nation? So they could be the ones behind paying off the detective and paying off the Dr. Little, so much so to where they caused him to either disappear by funding his disappearance, or they caused him to disappear. Mm, you evil motherfuckers. This goes to show you the length the motherfuckers will go through to frame an innocent black man just to save their own damn skin. Such vile people like that to me I just hope God will just open up the earth and just swallow their ass a whole, body and soul. Especially what he endured. Man, if him, God may God bless Tory Lanez and his lawyers. For I pray they get to the fruition, of what they're looking for, and hopefully that will be enough to, God willing, to get this overturned so he can get out and sue the fuck out of their ass. Sue Megan. She's with Rock Nation, so damn it, so shit. So some of that money from them is gonna come to you. Sue their ass too. Motherfucker, sue everybody. Sue everybody fucking involved. But they were saying like he was kind of like making a little dumb mistake, making this case of worst type of shit. And with this type of shit, my dude, you can't do shit. You can't do shit but just remain humble. Remain humble and submitting yourself unto God, not just praying. I'm talking about submitting yourself unto God. You don't be doing nothing that can hinder you basically in your case of you trying to get this overturned so you can get out and possibly to be in a position to where you can sue. But let's go to our next segment. But thank you, Sister Gail. Um, let's go to our next video. But before we do, I want to give my thought on my last thought for the previous video regarding Netflix. You said, Sister Gail, I remember what you said about at the end there about how Netflix, it's probably why they're raising up the prices or whatever on people's subscriptions and all that. Well, thank God I came across the knowledge of these, or what I call these backdoor apps. And in these apps, basically, like the movie apps I have, I can get all different networks, all different shows and movies that are from their own independent main source, which is Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, all that streamed into one. You may have to deal with the little annoyance of a few ads here and there, but that's that's nowhere near uh, as annoying as it is when you realize, hey, like damn, motherfuckers, I'm paying subscriptions for like 10, 15 different apps. And you calculate that shit and you're like, oh hell no. And then you pull a move like me, go get you a device, a Google device, or a Roku device, casting device that will allow you to cast from your phone to your TV. But as most people have, smart TVs now. Hey, you good. But with this app, it's just awesome. It's just so awesome. Well, there's plural. There's multitudes of them. So if the servers go down on one because of copyright bullshit, then you can put that aside. Boom, that app. You install that. You can say to you, so you install that back. You give that to some time and check them out, see if they updated, fixed their bugs or whatever. And hey, you may have it up and running. But in the meantime, there's other movie and TV show apps that you can watch until that one, that app that you love so much because of the interface and everything. You gonna wait on that until that gets finished, until they get finished doing what they're doing with that shit. So if they shut one down, don't get worried or crazy thinking that they're gonna shut all of them down. No, they're not. But there's a few steps into getting these apps, because these apps you're not gonna be able to get in your typical Play Store. So in which case, Sister Gar will holler at you about that later at a later date. But thank you, sis, again for allowing me to share your content, sis. Appreciate you. I believe this is the first time. So Lord willing, yep, this ain't gonna be the last. All right, let's get into some more content from another good brother, and you'll be evident to a lot of those when I play them of who this is. Shout out to brother EA Sports, or rather EA News.
What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. I'm gonna get more specific on this video probably in another video, but there's a situation that's kind of currently going down in regarding the Passport Bros, in which somebody did something stupid. I'll put some information in the description so you all can get some information, but it's kind of an emergent story in regarding to Brazil, so I'm not really trying to comment on it right now, to be honest with you. But I am going to use this as a backdrop. And again, if you want more information, know what I'm talking about, link is in the description. But I am going to use this as a backdrop to talk about something because people have been sending me this. It's been kind of annoying. Not that people have been sending it, but what I know this is going to lead to. And this video is going to be about how everybody, when I use everybody hates black men, when I say that, what I'm talking about specifically is the idea that everything is always black men's fault. Black men always have to absorb everything that everybody does, whether it's immigrants, whether it's white people, whatever. At the time of this video, you got Donald Trump doing the most hopscotch dance to not release the Epstein files. Right? Then you got immigrants somehow expecting black people to come to their rescue, even though they have been shitting on African Americans. Or, you get FBA, whatever term y'all want to use right now. You know what I'm talking about. And coming back to Passport Bros, the thing is, you have a lot of people that, they don't like Passport Bros. Some of it is posturing. In fact, let me play this video real quick just to illustrate something. Shout out to Marcus A. Brown for doing this. Let me play this as give you a perfect example of the kind of cognitive dissonance I'm talking about.
I gotta get my passport. Come home. Come home. Stop being a dummy. I have never seen a passport bro that I was like, that nigga is sweet as fuck. I want to be like him. Y'all know I'm cool with O'Shea Duke Jackson. I think his name is Passport to Thailand or Travel to Thailand or something like that. I forgot what the name is. It's a couple people that I'm really cool with. Somebody said, who were you talking about? I don't know these niggas' names. You cannot name me one nigga that is just great. And I was like, I could take something from him. How do the majority of these guys make their money?
Majority of guys I run into are going to be IT guys and ex-military.
These are not, the dusty dudes. These are actually guys that have a lot going for them. What would you say to that?
I've met more guys with resources overseas than back in the States.
Fuck these niggas.
All right, as you can see, for people, a lot of people always think I be, giving Anton, a lot more credit than he deserves, or I don't go at Anton. This is some goofy stuff by Anton, for example. Now, with Anton in regarding to this, what Anton is essentially doing, this is basically political posturing. Passport Bros doesn't do, and I want you to understand something too before I say this. I know the person that actually came up with the hashtag. Shout out to King Sigma. And a lot of y'all basically hijacked the hashtag. King Sigma should be a lawyer by now. A couple of years ago, he was a law student. So this wasn't just some, Discord moderator type dude that ain't really doing nothing for real. It was just it wasn't meant to be. It was really just like how I have ideas when I have a stream of consciousness. It was just something he said and it took off. And it's unfortunate that he doesn't get the credit for it and that people pretty much hijacked it to YouTube to just build their own YouTube channels. So I'm going to have some critique on Passport Bros too in this video in particular. But the greater part of this video is really more about black men not being able to come together and how there is no community development if people can't come together in general. Black men in particular can't come together. There is no community development. There is no community development if the women come together, because women don't build. Point blank period. Women nest. They don't build. Anybody feel some type of way for that? Point me to anything that women as a group have really built out. I'm not talking about organizations in order to advocacy organizations. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually building. And this is not an argument about black men or black women. This is about just the nature of what that is. There is, in any race, that's not the women are not the engine of building. They're not. Contrary to what feminism would like to tell you. So back to what I was talking about. Anyway, the point is, you know, you have a situation, emergent situation, and Anton. So, and this is not about Anton, by the way, but I'm just going back with Anton. You're politically posturing because Anton is already a black conservative that, you know, upsets, you know, black people in general, particularly black women. Nicki Minaj Turning Point USA video coming soon. Link will be in the description for that, for any future listeners, because that'll be done probably by then. And so he's posturing. Anton is already a black conservative. Anton, but he gets away with that because he has a black wife with West African features, all that blah, 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 and a black daughter. So they kind of, and because he's got so much stuff over there where he's at, people deal with it. Anton, low-key, will co-sign a lot of red pill talking points, which is also, again, another issue. That, you know, black people have. You know, keep talking about Andrew Tate, keep talking about, you know, Myron, like there's no black men like Coach Greg Adams and stuff like that, right? And so when you look at where you land, this is kind of like politics. What are you on abortion? What are you on, you know, business? What are you on taxes? What are you on whatever? Traveling, these topics, this is how people form their opinion on you, even though they don't have a true educated understanding of these topics in general. So these topics automatically become pro black woman, anti black woman, whether consciously or subconsciously people are looking at it that way. So one of the reasons you have people that really don't mess with password bros for whatever reason, but with Anton, you see a video like what I just showed you, it's because he's made the calculation and decision that it serves him better to not mess with password bros, or to not only not mess with password bros, but to actually shun them. It serves better for the current audience he has. I've said the same thing with Tariq Nasheed when it comes to the FBA versus diaspora stuff. The FBA versus diaspora stuff, one of the things, I'm not saying he completely doesn't believe that. I'm not saying that. But what I will say is what it does is it solves a problem Tariq has had, which is Tariq, it splits his audience. He doesn't want to split his audience demography on the basis of gender, because female eyeballs matter. Female eyeballs, you know, women will spend more money and engage in things a lot more than even men will, because men have other stuff to do. So you don't want your reputation to be seen as anti-black woman. And so he already, because he has his mixed wife that people keep bringing up, which it's not a big deal to me, but it's like a big deal to every other people, right? He has what he has said in the past, which again is not an issue really, but people want to make it an issue, you know, because they don't like Tariq for whatever reason. He has to kind of land on certain topics in a certain way. And so for him, the FBA situation is especially since he pretty much, you know, orchestrated a lot of it. It was a way for him to basically, if he's gonna say something about black women, always make it like it's non-FBA black women. because that's who his audience is. And people that are non-FBA that still mess with Tariq, you know, here's the thing. If they mess with Tariq because they don't like Tariq, so they still engage, well, he's all diaspora people. This is why he engages with them to the extent that he does. Because that's still engagement. Negative engagement is still engagement. And this is the calculation a lot of people are making. I understand these things. I just choose to prioritize, you know, telling the truth and moving the needle forward over just trying to generate engagement and put people in this like engagement kind of rabbit hole where people are just rage baiting. I've fallen for stuff like that too. Like you got something on TikTok now where people are just putting like word posts with music behind it and they're just saying rage baity stuff. And I just block them. Because number one, it's not a piece of, you know, material I can use because it's not somebody saying it, it's just words. And I'm going to keep it real. One thing I will say that I absolutely agree that Elon Musk did was putting that where posts are from bullshit. Now the thing is, I don't think TikTok will do that because you're going to find out that a lot of these posts that doesn't have somebody on it is coming from probably another country, which is why I don't even engage in posts like that. If it's not words, if it's not like verbal, or it's not I can see their face, I don't even waste the time. I just block those pages because you don't know what's real or what's not. And that's one thing that's the danger of like memes and stuff is if people know enough, they're putting stuff and they're saying stuff just to get you to rage and gauge. So anyway, my point, Anton is politically posturing. That's what that is with that video you saw. But you have a lot of people, but when it comes down to passport bros, I don't care about a hashtag. I care about the idea of black men traveling. And quite frankly, I have zero issue with black women traveling. I actively encourage black women to travel. Why? Because the more black women travel, the more they're gonna understand that the stuff that black men do for them is not something they can get duplicated in another group. Nobody is going to put up with black women in their crap. And I'm talking about even when they're acting like they're supposed to. Nobody is going to give them as a group the same deal that black men are going to give them. And I'm talking black men, I'm talking about good black men. Black men are actually about some stuff. Not, you know, they're actually about moving stuff forward, building stuff. Not necessarily these sexual chaos agents these chicks choose and then try to blame all black men for. Which I'm not hating on these dudes. The game is the game. But they know what they're picking and why. You're not. I'm confident in that. I'm absolutely confident in that. So if you all want to go and crash out overseas, go ahead. See, that's not the same thing. Black women don't believe that for black men. Which is why it's not the same kind of energy when black women travel versus when black men travel. And this is something that gets avoided in all these conversations. Even Passport Bros does a very piss poor job at really addressing this the way they need to address it. They basically engage in gender war or engaging in trying to explain why they're doing what they're doing. As if you need to get mommy's permission. Even when people sit here and they start talking about, well, you need to get married. Black women are not out here. So basically casual sex in the United States is perfectly fine with no intention of marriage. And then these women can get to 30, 35, 35, 40, sometimes 45, talking about they ready. But if dudes are going overseas for casual sex, that's a problem. Well, you buying prostitutes. Okay, what is the difference? I'm not justifying quote unquote buying prostitutes, but again, what are women saying here? I'm not going 50-50. My money is my money. Your money is my money. These dudes are broke. These dudes don't want to spend money, low effort, all this stuff, which implies that if you're you shouldn't be dating. I see this on TikTok all the time or Clubhouse. You shouldn't be dating if you don't got no money. Which implies that you are expecting money. The situation with Ty Lil, I just saw a video with that Jordine, what she looked like before she had surgery. That chick sold her soul. And I'm gonna get on that in a minute. That stuff, because I actually got an angle to cover. Nobody's covering with that for real. Stay tuned for that. that Patreon link should be in the description at the time, a little bit after I upload this video. So look in the links for that. Always look at the links, because if I mention something, I do try to put them in the links. So that's not the same thing. So when you're looking at this dating market, when dudes are spending crazy, you got motherfuckers talking about spending money, $500 on dates. I've heard Ernest Lisa one time say a $500 first date. First date, meaning you don't even know this chick for real. You're not celebrating nothing. We not talking first date, $500. They throwing out crazy numbers. Even white people, remember, they're saying millennials can't date. That means they're talking about white people too. Yet, there's this expectation that money is going to be spent. Otherwise, you're broke or you're being cheap. Yet, if you go overseas, it's bad. We know what it is. You don't want resources leaving. Basic female nature. And then what really gets on my nerves is I expect the women to be on that, because I expect female nature to kick in. I don't expect women to go against their nature. You have to work with it. The problem is when black men start doing what Anton did, or when black men start doing what, you know the people that always want to jump on passport bros. And really, they have a problem with black men traveling. Now, some of them, this is what's ironic, some of them will travel. Like that Benny Capital dude on TikTok, he will travel. He has traveled recently, I think, to Thailand. But he's married. So now it's like, okay, if you're married to a black woman, it's cool. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody wants to have a real conversation. As if, you got goofy dude. Like, for instance, if you're against marriage, if I were to say, let's say black women are against marriage, a black woman can put up you can fill up a whole channel of black men that are dog cheaters. And not just on black women. Black men, they will cheat on their non-black women that they're married to. And they could say, why would you get married when this is what you got to look forward to? You can fill up a whole channel easy, multiple channels, you can fill up a whole niche like Divestor niche just off of that. Does that mean that black men in marriage are bad guys? No, it does not. That's a group that does that. And that's not saying that doesn't represent a certain dynamic, but that's a group. You can look at anything with the Epstein, anything, and highlight a percentage of people that do certain stuff, and you could say, and you can blanket the whole group with it. The question is, how strong is the need to believe it? And there's certain people, and why do they want to believe it? You got people till this day that will still listen to R. Kelly's music and will still try to stand up for R. Kelly. You got people till this day that will stand up for Diddy. I'm talking about the whole way through, even before this case. Right. Till this day. But with certain things, there's a need for, even the thing with Pearl. Pearl did not come up in our space, because if she did, we would have duplicated other people in our space. But people want to believe that the black manosphere is no different than the mayosphere. Shout out to Dumper for that term. The mayosphere, and we're the same. And therefore, so they play this game where they don't, because, people don't got the same kind of traction as like Fresh and Fit or Andrew Tate or the whatever show. They still play this game where they don't want to promote the black manosphere. So they use Andrew Tate and all these things, Andrew Wilson too, as euphemisms to try to come and attack us without, quote unquote, giving people credit. Because in their mind, if the stuff isn't why, this is why the stuff is so hard to defeat. Because when you don't acknowledge certain things and you let that stuff grow on its own, then what happens is it doesn't need you to exist. And so now when you try to deal with it, you can't deal with it because it's already been established, because it had to deal with it without being railgun promoted. And that's the issue. So this is what's getting into my main point 18 minutes later in this video. My main point is this. Nobody Everybody, and when I mean everybody, I'm including black men in this, and I'm including black women in this. Everybody is invested in black men not working together. Take passport bros off the table. If you look at anything that black men are working together economically that has nothing, that doesn't have anything to do, where people are not telling black men what to do, that is treated very hostilely. This is one of the reasons why Shadur Sanders, why the Ball brothers, this is one reason why black fathers are attacked. No other version of fatherhood is attacked as strongly as black fatherhood. Not saying nobody else goes through problems, but black men, even the relationship between a man and his son, a black man and his son, is a threatening relationship to the eyes of everybody else, because they see that as a foundational building block of building.
Your work with the Tesseract is what drew Loki to it, and his allies. It is a signal to all the realms that the Earth is ready for a higher form of war.
This is why every generation has to start over. White people are experiencing that for the fucking first time in centuries, and they don't know how to handle it. But this is just a state of being for black men. Whenever black men work together, whenever black men create organizations for boys, do you know there is a thing called the Caucus for Black Women and Girls in the United States Congress? Jasmine Crockett is a part of that. In the United States Congress, there is a caucus for black boys, for black women and girls. There is no such caucus for boys. And if there were, it would be a problem. The first thing people would ask is, why are you being divisive? I'm talking about with black people. Now, the same black people, FBAs, have been completely fine with black immigrants taking over everything. If you really do an audit on who's at the top, it is like alarming how much it is people that are not invested in us. Y'all getting mad about Nicki Minaj with that Turning Point interview. She's Caribbean. Always made that very clear. That didn't stop black women from dealing with her not like, it didn't stop none of that. Same thing with Cardi B. These people are not you, yet you still push these people up. There's a reason these people keep getting charged. Look at the thing with Shamar Moore, the Michigan University. Shamar Moore is Trinidadian. Nicki Minaj, same thing right there. Just like A$AP Rocky's dad is from Barbados, Rihanna's from Barbados, same thing. But we take the hit. Ime Udoka is half white, half Nigerian, not FBA. With the situation he went, I'm not saying that FBAs don't do nothing, but we don't do as much as people think. A lot of that fraud, these white people are always talking about with welfare. Now all of a sudden you starting to show that's a lot of immigrants doing that, because you got Democrats and Republicans, to be real, because Republicans get cheap labor off of it. The shadow population. I'm going to start talking about that a lot more, because we have a shadow population in its government. We have a shadow population in this country. It's not a small population. It's a small population to be used for labor force, and I'm not talking about picking fruit. I'm talking about value jobs. Nobody had the need to deal with that until it didn't become a problem until it became a problem for white people. Even though black people have been getting on the bad end of that. Black men in particular have been getting on the bad end of that when it comes to trucking and a variety. Trucking, landscaping, trucking, blue collar work, landscaping industry. We are the last to be hired, the first to be fired. So whenever they can cut out black men, they will. Which does affect black women. Because contrary to popular belief, we deal with them more than we don't. Heck, I've said it before. A lot of black women be trying to get into trucking. It's harder for them to get into it because it's all these immigrants doing it. They ain't got CDLs. That stuff is just now calling out. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons for calling that out. We're not even going to talk about black business and black men work together from a business standpoint, which can't happen. What this all comes down to is black men, whenever black men, this goes all the way back to slavery. Whenever black men congregate unsupervised, that is a problem. And the passport bro situation is a manifestation of it. The passport bro situation has a couple of problems. Number one, as far as how people feel about it. Number one, they see resources leaving the community. That's really the real driver. Now, black men see that as a threat because a lot of black men are basically side dudes. They're not spending money on these chicks. They're getting free sex, which is what it is. But what happens is that gets subsidized by goofies that will take them out on dates and stuff like that. If that money dries up, and that money comes in a variety of different ways. It's not as simple as what I'm talking about. But what happens is women are basically swapping dudes out. That is threatened if men can just go somewhere else and get sexual access, regardless how they're getting it. Because contrary to how they're getting it, women are out here hoeing here, yet it's only a problem when it's overseas. That's the thing that always got me. You got women buying chicks out of the strip club here. It's only a problem when it's overseas. And it's been happening. Women are doing dirty foot activity here, and it is never been higher since the crack era how much women are doing dirty foot activity. OnlyFans is dirty foot activity, by the way. Yet for some reason, it's only a problem when it's overseas. Dudes don't like it because they just want another reason to hate on another dude. And again, their being Tyrone or Pookie and Ray Ray is subsidized by other dudes coming into it's a lot of stuff that gets disrupted. And so as a result, and also it's easy coochie points because the women are mad. This is why nobody has never been able to explain to me why when black women travel, because black women sex tour a lot overseas. What do you think these girls' trips are? Why do you think there's only specific places they tend to go? There's books written on this, by the way. This is not just something. It's a book called The Pursuit of Happiness, a Black Woman, something, something. I still got to go through that book and show you all. Shout out, Dennis actually was the one that brought that out. I think BGS did before too, but yeah. This is not something I'm just saying. This is a known thing. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that these chicks could be going overseas, getting third world, sex, and then coming here bringing diseases in. Nobody cares. Nobody cares with the rise of STDs with black women, which is the high demographic where it's rising. Nobody cares where that could be coming from. But here, nobody cares. These chicks could be going overseas, getting pregnant, and then coming back, and then telling dudes that they with. Nobody cares that some of these women are going on girls' trips. I'm telling you right now, if a woman goes on a girls' trip and she's married, she's cheating. Dudes don't care. But when it comes to men, all of a sudden, all the alarm bells of suspicion comes up. And it's because they don't want it to be a trend. Because anything that black men do that is not given permission or somebody's not supervising it is a threat. And even black men are threatened or afraid of black men coming together because now they're afraid of being a target. Because once you step into arena it that way, there was a scene with Thor in the first Avengers. It said the Tesseract being on Earth lets the universe know that humanity is ready for a higher form of warfare. And so when you start to work as a group, you are competing at a level that makes you a target. And black men are afraid of that because of what the trauma we deal with epigenetically when it comes to Jim Crow, when it comes to our stuff being burnt down. Because contrary to popular belief, it wasn't white people just went in there and did it. They had the state that helped them do it. That's when black men fought off regular white folks. It was when the military got involved that we got overwhelmed. Because why wouldn't we? That's not a fair fate. But that gets lost in translation. And so my point is, what annoys me about whether it's the passport bro thing is really not, I could care less really about the hashtag, because the idea is really about black men traveling and not just for sex, but I see it as a easy way to a rite of passage That's without going to college necessarily. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to college, but you get what I'm saying. Where you can actually get up from out of this American bubble and see what the world thinks versus necessarily what you've been told in America. That's how I see it. Because your senses are going to be activated, not just what you see on the internet. And just the process of getting a passport and going through that process is important. We got too many cornerstone niggas. And this inspires black men to want to look at the world in a different way, look at the country they're in a different way. I'm not necessarily on the I'm leaving and I'm never coming back train, but it will help inform you how better to engage with the United States. By seeing something different. You got to see something different to be something different. That's why I care about it. And a woman is a part of that too. Not saying it's not, but it's not, because obviously one of the most important things you're going to do is getting a partner, wife, girlfriend, whatever. But my point is, that's not the be all end all. Passport Bros have done a very bad job at representing that. And I'm talking about the dudes that actually have channels. I'm not talking about the goofies in the algorithm. The issue that I really have with Passport Bros is that they use their YouTube channels as a mechanism to fund traveling. That's and what that does is that creates a situation where they are worried more about attention than information. The business model creates problems, the way they choose to engage with it. Look, I'm just a dude with an opinion. It is what it is. But this creates more problems than it solves. So what happens is people want to talk about a trending topic for views, and honestly, you cannot depend on YouTube ad revenue. Some channels can, but most people, that's like a less than point. That's like a 0.1%. That's like a 1 in 1,000 people traveling can depend on a YouTube channel for ad revenue. That's problematic. That's problematic. Like I joined a couple of Facebook groups when it comes to traveling, like Black in Thailand and stuff like that. It's gender warring in there. Why? And it's not even gender warring from a standpoint of you actually having real conversations that move the things forward. No, it's just people doing the goofy, 2014, 15, 16, memes and stuff in there, talking about what black women do, black men do. Basically, it's rage baiting. You're baiting people from a rage standpoint, which is goofy. It's goofy. Rage, I'm keeping it real. I get why people do it, but rage baiting, especially with this stuff is too important to just be rage baiting. You're a goofy if you rage bait. You're a goofy. Because all you're doing is you're not, and people need to stop engaging with rage bait. Now, if somebody is verbally saying something, cool, but a lot of times people say off the wall stuff. I've said this for a while now. You'll hear black women say off the wall stuff just for engagement. So anyway, this video has been way longer than I wanted it to be. I'm gonna pop this out today to kind of get ahead of to get on that. Like I said, if you all want to know what I'm talking about and what I'm referring to, put the links and text will be in the description. I actually may even put like the stuff will be in the description. All right. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Appreciate the couple of subscribers coming through. Like I got to get this stuff back, on the on the road. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.
Yep, well, shit, Brother Edwards right. I mean, just mm, the all these people that be hating on the passport bros, interfering, trying to do every way they can to sabotage a black man, making it and traveling and finding better women, overseas. It's just trash, man. So, man, but yeah, that was a great one. That content right there is from Brother Edward. So, shout out to him, Brother Edward Anderson. Go subscribe to his channel. All right, now, here we go. Now we're going to dive into the Geek-verse, into some geek content. So yeah, let's go. Let's check out this one here I have lined up. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's see what you guys usually would do with a chick like this. You can't do, yeah, you can't deal with no crazy obsessive bitch like this. This one, man, she's really crazy. That's wild. Nope, I can't deal with no crazy ass obsessive bitch like that. Oh man, that anime is comical. So it's very funny. Got a lot of action in it too. But yeah. So let's go into the geek verse. Let's go. Now that I've done showing these, I will set up and fire up for movie night. Well, I'll be shutting up for us to watch the Dave Chappelle new stand up. And yeah, and I will be putting the link in the chat for you guys to check out.
Ultimate Black Panther and Storm are both facing their own world-ending event now that the progenitors are one step closer to invading Earth 6160. So with that said, let's get back into it. But first, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so going into Ultimate Black Panther issue 23, this picks up in a moment where things have briefly calmed down after issue 22, where Matron Amala and the Vodou Khan had taken Storm and magically accelerated the birth of her and T'Challa's son so that their child could be a host for the progenitor. And now T'Challa, Killmonger, and Bast showed up to try and stop this, but they were too late, with the child already being possessed and taken by the Vodou Khan. And now that the progenitor has taken his body, he's become the gateway, and he's getting ready to lead his people back to Earth so they can first take over Wakanda, and after that, the rest of the world. So yeah, it's not looking good right now. And as it stands, everyone here is not exactly on the same page as far as what they should do next, because for Storm, the way she sees it, the Vodou Khan had just taken her child. And Eric is basically like, cool, okay, well, let's go get him. Let's hunt them down. And now T'Challa's not against this, but he's like, we need a plan first, because if they go in blind without thinking this through, then they're going to play right into the Vodou Khan's hand. And now Bast, she's with T'Challa on this, but there's a bit more to it, because she tells Eric here, listen to the king. The path is hidden, but not to me. The child is growing. Years, in moments. The zealots did not take him. He is leading them now. You must not consider him innocent, for he is not. He is not even human. And of course, for Storm, that's nonsense, because the way she sees it, that's still her son. But T'Challa's just like, what he is not our blood or our soul. And so that means, and Storm balls up her fist. She tells him, finish it, T'Challa, say it. And she's looking like, I dare you. And I mean, it doesn't get too crazy here, but for a moment, I thought this was going to turn into Avengers versus X-Men versus issue 5. After Namor flooded Wakanda and T'Challa declared the X-Men were Wakanda's enemies, which forced Storm to choose, and she chose her old team. But yeah, this doesn't quite take that route. And Eric's just over on the side looking like, hey, don't look at me, it ain't my kid. And Bast continues here saying, and really saying this to Storm for the most part, but she says here, it means you must consider him nothing more than a thing meant to destroy you. What could have been your son died in cosmic power. Hate that, and use that hate and focus on what is to come. And now this takes us right back over to the Voodoo Khan, where now, just like we were told, they're taking orders from the child, who again is really and truly one of the progenitors, who are just using this body. And the Voodoo Khan who are out here worshiping this thing basically, they've already shown their hand before, because this is what they were after the whole time. And we saw how that history all played out when the progenitors first arrived hundreds of years ago, and the people were split between who followed them, and the ones who refused went on to become the Wakandan ancestors. But the Voodoo Khan, they acted as spiritual advisors to the Wakandan throne for all these years, with the intention of using what would eventually be the son of Storm and T'Challa, the Child of Light, according to the prophecy, as a vessel to usher in the progenitor invasion. And the Voodoo Khan, they just sped up the process so that the time would be now. And like Shuri discovered and later on shared with T'Challa and Okoye back in issue 21, the progenitors also need Wakanda to bring the rest of their people to Earth. Because years ago, the ancestors who sided with the progenitors, they built a city right under Wakanda that emits a vibranium signature that travels up from the ground and through Wakanda. So together, both of these cities would make this huge gateway. And now what's crazy is that we found out recently Shuri knew about this a while back. And out of fear, she made some questionable decisions to try to prevent things from getting worse, which is why we'll often see her being called a traitor throughout this story. But recently, with more details popping up, with them learning about the Voodoo Khan's intentions, the reveal of Zanan, the lead progenitor, and their plans for Storm and T'Challa and the Child of Light, and it's come to the point where now if this kid makes it to Wakanda, it's a wrap. So now with T'Challa and the others making their way back and meeting up with Anan, the Sorceress Supreme of Earth 6160, she tells them she can find the child on the astral plane, and that this is a way to stop him. So she uses this as a way to travel to the child while keeping her physical body here safe. And right away, Bast is like, this is a bad idea. But Anan goes anyway and she finds him. And her plan is just to take him out by turning energy into matter and just going for the kill. But before she can, the child sees her and he attacks first. And dude just grabs Anan in the astral plane and he crushes her. And over in Wakanda, when her body just flies out of the building, Bast just looks over and says, your ally is lost. Like, she's done. It's over for her. And that's when we go back over to Anan's physical body as it explodes over the skies of Wakanda. And after this, the child tells the Voodoo Khan the place they call Wakanda, it is east. So they start to make their way there. And with the burning remains of Anan's body falling down through the broken roof, T'Challa starts giving orders like, we gotta get ready. So he tells Okoye, those who can fight, make them ready. Shuri, the weapons, tools, and machines you prepared, get every one of them. Let no warrior in this kingdom have an empty hand, because now they've had a sample of how powerful the Child of Light is. So they need to get everyone who can fight ready to fight. And a very short moment later, as they're getting ready, we see Shuri approach T'Challa. And at first she's like, I have no apology with the words. And T'Challa's basically like, cool, because I ain't got no time to hear it. But really what she's trying to do here is show him something that she's been working on. And it's not only something that would be needed in a time like this, but it also goes back to her efforts of trying to make Wakanda stronger. But in the here and now, with her needing to make amends with T'Challa, she's hoping that this will be a step towards that. So again, to be clear, she didn't start working on this the moment after Eric and the others found out about her working with Khonshu from the Maker's Council. This is something she had been working on when she wanted Wakanda to have a stronger military, when she wanted to be more innovative with their weapons, and it just happens to cross over with the time that she was working with Khonshu. But she goes on to tell T'Challa here that this specific project is based off of some of his designs. And she tells him, you really should stop pretending you're not as smart as you are, brother. Be the fist of Wakanda. And now as the child and the Voodoo Khan are marching their way, this is where we see Shuri's project getting put to use quick, fast, and in a hurry, with T'Challa taking it to intercept the child and the Voodoo Khan as they're marching towards Wakanda. And as it turns out, this is quite literally the same thing as the Wakanda Prowler mechs that we got in the late 90s that we saw in both Black Panther and the Incredible Hulk series, because at one point Killmonger used the Hulk to attack Wakanda, so they had to bring the Prowlers out. But that was Earth 616, and I did a video on it like 7 years ago. And I put a link to that in the description against my better judgment. But it's pretty sick to now see that Earth 6160 has their own version of that. But as T'Challa shows up here, he says, "Your claim to Wakanda is broken. Your claim to vibranium is broken. Your place on this world is no more. Your march has ended. As my ancestors knew your kind, I will destroy you." And he just tells T'Challa, you're going to do this with a machine forged with the element of my world. And you can just tell by looking at T'Challa that this is hard enough for him to do. And that's where the progenitor is struck by lightning and Storm shows up, which I can imagine just helps T'Challa a bit to know that Aurora's come around to the point where she's willing to do whatever needs to be done to stop this invasion. But even with the both of them taking the fight to the Child of Light, even still, this dude is absurdly powerful because he just tosses this Prowler like it's nothing. So quickly Storm summons the winds to break T'Challa's fall, only for the progenitor to take things to the next level by summoning more of the ancients through the bodies of the Photo Khan, giving himself a much more formidable army. And right here where T'Challa's like, this is not my father's fight, not my sister's, not my queen's, this is mine. This is basically him saying he knows what needs to be done here. And even when T'Challa blasts this army of progenitors while Killmonger and the Dora Milaje rally behind him, and Storm's fighting a ton of them off, the Child of Light just keeps bringing them back. Because to him, it doesn't matter how much the Wakandans want to fight. They will eventually grow tired. But the progenitors, they are infinite because he's just going to keep bringing them back. And when T'Challa hears this, he's like, no, y'all not infinite. No, you're not. But as many as they take down, more just keep coming back. And as this is happening, it really just builds into this whatever it takes kind of moment for T'Challa. That's just colliding with what seems to be at this point a desperation attack from the progenitor. As he jumps on top of the Prowler and he just starts yelling, your kingdom, your world will be my throne. But as all of this is intensifying, inside the Prowler, Bast tells T'Challa, hear me and let my strength guide you. Ethereal and machine, faith and power. And now this is where Storm comes down and she's supercharging the Prowler. And even now the progenitor's like, I am your heir. I am your truth. Only for Storm to tell him you are a child of nothing. Because now Aurora's quite literally doing what Bast had instructed, as far as using that hate and focusing on what's to come. And there's a bit more to it that's kind of played fast and loose here, because as Storm is doing this, both T'Challa and the progenitor are either trapped in or stuck on this Prowler. And for a second, Killmonger's even watching in awe and looking at Aurora like, wow, you really doing this. You waged war with the gods. And then Storm says, end it, King, for all we have lost. And that's where the Prowler just explodes in a burst of lightning and fire. And as she comes down to the ground, Aurora says here, T'Challa, he's gone. With that thing, T'Challa is gone. And now Eric's basically like, well, dang, where'd he go? And Aurora just tells him, east. So yeah, this cliffhanger is really just setting us up for what's to come in issue 24, which we'll see in January. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. And I know how much you guys love these cliffhangers, because really the second half of this entire series, or really after Khonshu and Ra were defeated, it's like when this series started to focus more on the whole progenitor invasion and how the events leading up to it have unfolded. To me, some of the pacing in the decisions, like Shuri being the traitor, it's just felt kind of off. But don't take me wrong, I like the invasion idea, but it almost feels like Brian Hill had to shuffle some things at the last minute. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here who wants more from
Yeah, holla. Yeah, Dope Spill. There's Dope Spill Comics. Shout out to that brother. Yes, man. And this is taking me aback, man. Seeing this Ultimate Black Panther and the Ultimate Storm. Man, and this is crazy, man. And Shuri. And Shuri going rogue. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, this is crazy. So I was like, yeah, I have to share this. Because Black Panther, man, he is fighting. He is going through it. So yeah, I have a second one. Here we go.
Ultimate Storm and T'Challa have just welcomed their newborn child, and I just want to say congratulations on a newborn grown man. So with that said, we got to talk about it. But first, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so just as a bit of a recap for how things got to this point, not too long ago back in issue 18, we saw T'Challa and Ororo, who had both been away from Wakanda for quite some time, become a lot closer after being alone together for so long, with them doing their investigation of dark vibranium. So they had these talks every evening about what would be their next move that eventually led to more deep and meaningful conversations. Things got heated, one thing led to another, and the two of them got intimate. And for a little while, the story stepped away to catch up with what was happening in Wakanda. And by the time we came back to these two, Storm was missing. But we found out right away that she was taken by Zanan, the leader of the progenitors, who's also known as the spirit of vibranium. And he was told by Matron Amala, the Vodou Khan, that T'Challa and Storm's child was destined to be his vessel. So not long after T'Challa did his part, Zanan was just like, hey, you're no longer needed. So he tried to kill him, only to have the goddess Bast intervene, so she could take him on a spiritual journey so T'Challa could fully claim the Panther's power. And now when T'Challa returned, he soon after discovered that his sister Shuri was basically a traitor, but they weren't able to go too deep into that because of the immediate threat, which as it turns out isn't just Zanan and a few other progenitors, but this was something that would become a full-blown invasion. And with Shuri's help recently, they found out that the progenitors had been here before, and that their history was much closer to Wakanda's than anyone would have guessed. And this is how the Vodou Khan, who are like spiritual advisors to the Wakandan throne for generations, were able to take portions of the truth and the prophecies of what would come and use that to manipulate the throne. And this is something that was kicked into high gear by Matron Amala, who told T'Challa the prophecy that he would meet the Woman of Light, their fates would be intertwined, and they'd grow this bond in the time of war, and they'd have a child who would be the heir that Wakanda had waited for generations. And throughout this series, we've seen most of this play out, but it wasn't until recently when we learned that Matron Amala's intention, it wasn't just to ensure that T'Challa would go forward, meet this woman, have this child, and continue his legacy, but this whole time she was trying to speed up the conception, the birth, and the growth of this child so Zanan could use it as his vessel. And this kind of turned into a reveal with us finding out that the Vodou Khan, they don't serve the throne, they don't serve kings or queens, but instead they only serve gods. And if they believe that a new god is getting ready to take the place of another, then the Vodou Khan's gonna switch it up. And that's what placed them in alignment with the progenitors centuries ago. But jumping forward to the current moment, when we finally get back to Storm, we find her in the chamber of the Vodou Khan, in labor. And I know what you're thinking, it's only been like what, 4 months since issue 18? How is this woman about to have a whole baby? And now one explanation we get, it goes back to the Vodou Khan secretly being mystics. So they used magic to pull it off, but any of their powers were kept a secret up until like issue 17, when we found out Matron Amala and the Vodou Khan's true motive, as well as her being behind the assassination of T'Challa's father, T'Chaka. So you could say with Matron Amala's manipulation of powerful figures in high places, as well as hiding her powers until she was cornered, it's very much like a Senator Palpatine kind of thing, because to her and the Vodou Khan, the only thing that matters is serving the higher power, or whoever they believe to be the highest power, which for some time has been the progenitors in their return. So Matron Amala is more or less like, not only are they up next, but this new age is finna start now. And as far as the matron's concerned, everyone who's involved, whether it's Ororo, her child, or T'Challa, they're all just tools. And there's a moment here where she tells Ororo, like, you've done the work of a goddess, take your rest. But even still, the matron severely underestimates her. And even now for Storm, she's just like, how? She's like, this is impossible, this is too soon. And the matron just tells her all things are possible now. Just before she takes the child and looks to the other members of the Vodou Khan and tells them, we are the last generation made to wait. Our belief has been rewarded. We will see the return of the first power. The child of light will make a throne of the world. As she lifts up the child and says, the 1,000 years are complete. Hail those who came before. Hail those who will come again. Hail the paradise to come. He will make a throne of the world. And now back over with T'Challa, Eric, and Anan, the Sorcerer Supreme. She's telling them that Aurora is alive. She can feel her, but her power is being muted. And she goes on to say the Vodou Khan are magicians. They're folding shadow around her. The progenitors are aiding them. Brace yourselves. I need an assembly with the Alatori. So then she calls them forth to serve her, to serve the Sorcerer Supreme. And she tells T'Challa and Eric that these will be their seekers just before she gives them the command to find Storm, the elemental woman. Find her through the Veil of Shadow. And of course, this whole time, both Eric and T'Challa are like, well, what am I looking at? And this is set up to be very mysterious for the moment, because before they go, one of them tell the sorcerers Anan, we serve you sorcerers for the price of the assembly. And she tells them the price shall be paid. Find her, so they head out to search for Ororo. But that last little bit of exchange about the price of the assembly and how Anon would owe them something, T'Challa and Eric weren't supposed to hear that. So when they start asking all kind of questions, like for starters, Eric's like, what were those things? She just tells him, you don't care. You want her safe, so don't ask. And when T'Challa asked Anon, I'm like, what's all this about a price needing to be paid? She deflects once again, because she tells him your kingdom is about to be invaded by cosmic Armageddon. Ororo has been captured by zealots of the apocalypse. You are in a league with Mother Bast and mastering dark vibranium. Worry about your problems, King T'Challa, and let me manage the price of the Alatori. They will succeed. They always do. You and Eric should be ready to act. Finding her will be the easiest part of this. Getting her back will be your challenge. So again, Anon, she has her secrets, and she has her own motives, which we've speculated about for some time now. And I'm not going to go too deep into that in the here and now, like I have before, but I will say I think it's possible that she's waiting for this whole progenitor ordeal to be done with before we find out what she really wants. And after this, we jump forward to just before T'Challa and Eric get ready to go, where before they leave, T'Challa tells Eric that he thinks they need to have a talk, referring to a deeper conversation about Ororo. But Eric's just like, we don't, Anon was right. I just want her safe. And based on the time you two spent together, I think you do too. And right there, it really feels like Eric is on some, I don't care, but he really do. Because then Eric asks, do you love her? And T'Challa's like, love? No. I wanted her at the same time she wanted me. That's all. And so Eric is like, and does your queen know? And T'Challa just turns around and looks at him like, what, you gonna tell on me? I'm like, oh, you trying to be messy. But no, he tells Eric, I have told Okoye, yes, love has never kept the throne of Wakanda strong. We are a union of power and leadership. We have grown to appreciate one another. And hearing that just has Eric like, man, you must be so lonely. And T'Challa doesn't even dispute that. He's just like, Killmonger, you have no idea. And after that, they head out. And Eric's just like, Wakanda will never be a place I understand. But to me, Wakanda's been making way more sense than Eric's whole situation with Ororo. Because they've had their hot and steamy moments, then all of a sudden, when her and T'Challa hook up, Eric's just like, whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's holding back some feelings that all just come rushing up to the surface at some point. And now jumping back to Storm, we find her asking Matron Amalo, where's her child? And the matron tells her, it's not your child, or T'Challa's. He was the seed, you are the vessel, the child belongs to the light. And yo, I don't think that argument's gonna hold up in court. That's crazy. Like, it's nobody's child. When the matron goes on to tell Ororo that she should stop fighting and how she belongs to them, Ororo then asks her here, what do you want? And the matron tells her what the Voodoo Khan has always wanted, power. As she goes on to say, and the true power lies beyond this world. It lies in the cosmos. Wakanda is a land of kings and queens. The Voodoo Khan exists for gods. The gods that came once and shall come again in this age, in our time. I've seen the future. The ones from beyond have shown me. T'Challa and all of his bloodline have the will of vibranium within them. The gods flow through their veins, but it needed to be woven with other power. Your power, Ororo. You don't even know what you are. She who commands the skies to rain. You are not a woman, Ororo. You are a storm, and you have one more task to accomplish. And when Storm's basically like, oh yeah, well what's that? The matron tells her this task is drawing the king and his weapons to us, so we can destroy them. And from here, they begin the process of accelerating the child's growth, while also preparing him for Zenon to take this body. And the matron's already celebrating their victory, with her saying, do you see my Storm? They've come to make their home in him now. Meanwhile, just outside, we see T'Challa and Eric being led right to them by the Alatori, as well as the arrival of Bast, who does not like this at all. Because next we see her approach Ororo and tell her, hear me, hold fast to your strength. Listen, that thing is not your child, and it must be destroyed. So Ororo's like, who are you? And Bast is like, who are you? What are you? As she goes on to tell Ororo how being held by these zealots, it's kind of ridiculous because Storm is so much more powerful than them. But her whole life she's been holding back, fleeing from her power. So she tells Ororo that she needs to embrace it, be the Storm, and make the matron rule her words. And as Eric and T'Challa make their way in, Eric is like, okay, these Voodoo Khan, they have magic. And again, all of this is new to T'Challa as well, like he ain't know. But really, Eric is setting up a question here, because he's like, what's the difference between a mystic and a magician? And that's where Matron Amala steps in and tells him the difference is power, as she immediately attacks them at the front entrance. And something to kind of keep in mind for a moment here is that with Eric, with Killmonger, he doesn't really care for or really much believe in much of this gods stuff, though you would think after everything he's seen, he'd be convinced by now. So to him, he's just fighting to save Ororo, so whoever's in the way, they can get it. While on the other hand, for T'Challa, now that he knows the truth about the Voodoo Khan, in Matron Amala's lust for power, to him it's like she's lost. And I don't know if I'd say that she's someone who seems to be lost or has lost her way in a sense, because she's known what she's been after for the longest time. But then there's a moment in this fight where she switches it up on him because she goes dual saber Palpatine just before catching Eric with a nasty hit that takes him out of the fight. Like, he's done here. And while this is going on, and I mean in the matter of seconds, but while this is going on, the Voodoo Khan is continuing the ritual, and we see Storm and T'Challa's son age a good 15 to 20 years in a matter of seconds. Like, it's ridiculous. But right now, with T'Challa still being occupied with this fight, when he sees Eric go down, he goes in on Matron Amala. And I'm talking about he put the paws on her and in her. And I mean, he digs all up in her ribs, like, let me tickle those lungs real quick. And he gets up close and tells her, you chose the wrong god. Only for the matron to just double down on her own beliefs. But when T'Challa then goes to ask her, where is she? Where's Aurora? The matron gets snatched up by some lightning just before catching another lightning bolt that's cranked up much higher. Like, it went from mild shock to you done now. And this is where Storm shows up telling T'Challa, I'm here. And now it's like she's fully accepted who she is and what she is, which in a way is very similar to what we saw with T'Challa embracing the full extent of his power. So in a way, all of this has made both of them truer to who they are and more powerful. And now fortunately for Eric, when he's approached by Bast, she tells him to be still, and how even though she's the very thing that he doesn't believe in, she's gonna go ahead and heal him, because she's patient. But also Killmonger has his role to play in stopping the progenitors too. But Bast goes on to tell them here, the child is the gateway. Wakanda is their goal, then the entire world. The three of you are all that stands in their way, but you will have to do more than stand. You will need to fight, and I will teach you how. So yeah, we're still gonna have to wait and see what's the verdict as far as Storm and T'Challa's son, because I'm pretty sure they don't want to destroy him. And at the same time, that could be pretty difficult if Zanon's already taken his body. So yeah, this is a wild way to age up a kid in a story. And I heard the MCU was doing something similar. Not sure. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. And all I'm gonna say is, regardless of how fast the child is aged up, it's still a minor. Remember that. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here, who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopes.
Damn. So I seen that. I was like, damn. So T'Challa and Storm end up having a son, whom which by magic was caused to grow up rapidly. Which means I'm like, okay. So wouldn't he be still like having like a childlike mind? But oh man. Yeah. So much for that one. Man, that was awesome. Again, from Brother Dope Spill Comics. Shout out to him. Man, that was awesome. So I like that one. So yeah, let's go to the next one. Hey, before we do, I was gonna give a shout out to Brother Gold P. Shout out to Professor Gold P. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it for the generous donation. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And the rest of you guys can follow suit and please hit the Cash App if you're willing. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's go on to the next one. But yeah, but I like that Ultimate Black Panther. But the thing is, in that one, it was weird because I'm like, okay, why would they create a female Doctor Strange? I'm like, come on, man. All right. So let's go. No. Killmonger too. Yeah, he's something else. Yeah, and yeah, Killmonger, he ain't playing no games. So yeah, so let's go to the next one. All right, here we go.
What's going on, guys? So it's been a while since we've covered the 2024 Wolverine series and the insane story of the return of Logan's mother. Because not only are there new stories spinning off from this series, but it's also coming back in January. So I figured we'd get caught up a bit before then. So with that said, if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so coming back, this continues from what we saw when Logan got a letter from his mother Elizabeth, who he believed had been long dead, with the letter saying that she was in trouble and she needed his help. And because this letter had her scent on it, which is a scent that Logan could never forget, this led to Logan making his way out to the old Howlett estate, which right away brought back even more memories, just for Logan to get there and find that she was being held captive by Sabretooth. And this reveal was one of those things at the time that raised its own pile of questions, with Sabretooth being another person who was supposed to have been dead. But given the situation and the immediate danger that Logan's mother was in, his primary focus was ensuring her safety before getting into too many of the questions. And at the same time, there was also this thing with the history between Logan and his mother Elizabeth, where she saw him as a monster. So now with him having to go into that monster mode to fight off Sabretooth and save her, this made for a very vulnerable moment, which allowed him to finally open up to her and be accepted, only for us as the reader to soon after discover that this was all being done by Mastermind the whole time. Because Mastermind has the mutant ability to cast illusions on a person to the extent where it'll convince all of their senses. And even when we saw moments where Logan was starting to sniff out something that wasn't right, he would eventually get pulled back in because of all the memories and the emotions that are tied to his mother in the Howlett estate. So even with us getting the reveal, Logan still believes that he's saving his mother. And it's really messed up, especially now that we know what's going on, because now we're seeing Mastermind, Jason Wingard, we're seeing his face saying the things that Logan thinks his mother is saying. Like, oh, you've grown so strong, James. Strong enough to protect your mother. And making it seem like how now she feels safe. So right after this, when they look over and they see Sabretooth's body's now missing, it has Logan like, this is our chance and he's got to get her out of there. And Wingard's just like, I'm sorry, son. I'm slowing you down. I fear if you don't leave me behind, my frail constitution will doom us both. And it's just like, man, he's really trying to sell this. And perhaps a little too hard, because once Logan gets him in the truck, and again, he's still convinced at this point that it's his mother. But once they get in the truck, they hit the highway, and right away, Elizabeth, air quotes, she's like, I can see how badly you need answers, James. You're kind, not pressing me for them. Kinder than I deserve. And right there, Logan's like, I'm still processing that you're here, that you're alive. Ma, everyone said you took your own life. Everyone said you were dead. And now back when we covered issue 11, I took a moment to talk about what we saw in Wolverine the Origin and how things went down that night. So as we know, what everyone's saying about Elizabeth's death is true. In the way that Mastermind plays on this, he does it in a way to where Elizabeth doesn't even deny it. So she tells him like, yeah, it's true, but her death just felt like a deep sleep until she awoke with Sabretooth standing over her, saying that he brought her back just to hurt her and that she had her son to thank for it. And now hearing this just as Logan like, Ma, I'm so sorry. The life I've lived, I've done a lot I ain't proud of. It's made a lot of people want to hurt me. And anyone who knows me knows that the best way to do that is to go after those closest to me. So this is where Logan does what you would expect, with his mother's safety being the priority. Because that's when he tells her like, look, I'm gonna have to stop at the next exit. We've been driving long enough. We should have some distance on Sabretooth now. You need food and sleep. Then we need to get you somewhere safe. Tomorrow we'll touch base with my friends who, and it's around this time when the gaslight comes on and his mother tells him, no, we can't. And right there she tells him, I'm sorry, James, but I've seen such frights these past days. I'm in no shape for introductions to new acquaintances. The X-Men can wait. We've been apart so many years. Surely we can take some time to, and right there Logan's like, I didn't mention the X-Men. How do you know that name? And then he points out the Bulldozer and the Hikers. And he's like, wait a minute, we passed them twice now. Almost like they've been driving in a circle when the compass says they're heading east. And that's where Logan picks up that someone's messing with his head. And that realization just breaks the immersion. But even with Logan now knowing that this isn't real, it takes him a moment to break away from the emotions that have been dug up. Because as the illusion falls apart, he finds himself just saying, Ma. And he thinks to himself, the word just slips out of my mouth. But I know this ain't my mother. Suppose the rational part of me has known for a little while now that this is all false. An illusion. But the part of me that feels still needs it all to be true. It doesn't care about reality. It wants its mama. So I do the only thing I can do. I kill that part of myself. And now when Logan fights back, he says here, not sure how you masked it till now, but I know that musty scent. Show yourself, Mastermind. And Wingard's like, okay, you figured it out then. And for a moment he's like, I should be angry, perhaps afraid, and yet all I feel is sadness, as if I've lost a child. And in response, of course, Logan wants to know how Jason Wingard got so deep into his mind. So he's like, what, are you a telepath now? And as Mastermind explains this to Logan, this is where all the pieces start to come together. Because first Wingard tells him, my illusions have always worked directly on the mind. I've just come to a fuller understanding of how. And you can thank the X-Men for that. Krakoa was like Florence during the Renaissance. Geniuses doing the unprecedented, left and right. It would have been hard not to learn new things about my own gifts. And I spent months after Krakoa honing what I'd learned. I'm no telepath. Alas, I've simply taught myself how to listen to the minds of my victims for inspiration in creating my illusions. To wreak revenge upon the X-Men, I plan to make you mine, to use you to strike at others. Imagine my surprise when I reached into the bloodthirsty Wolverine's mind to fill it with illusion and found a terrified child. As I insinuated myself into your senses, I came to realize attacking you was beneath me, that there was no reason to defeat you, when I could parent you. So yeah, after Mastermind's explanation, with him saying how at first this was about him going after the X-Men, that part explains a lot, even with him learning more about his abilities during the Krakoan era. But with him trying this new method out on Wolverine, with it involving the extra part of listening to his victims' minds, it seems as if this has caused Jason Wingard to lose himself. And Logan even notices this, because there's a moment where he starts asking Jason about what was real between the letter, the estate, or Sabretooth, but eventually Logan's like, the more this guy keeps talking, the more he notices that this dude's completely snapped. Because in response to asking what was real, Mastermind tells him, why, it was all real to me, James, and we could make it real again. I could answer all your questions about, and right there, Logan just goes for it and he tells him, my name ain't been James for a long time, bub. And the only thing I'm wondering is which limb I'm gonna slice off first. And Logan just goes for it because he's done with the mind games. So he cuts right into him without giving it a second thought. And after Logan does, he's like, I feel good for about 2 seconds. Then I realize I've been had. And that's where Logan sees that this was just another trick, which means if that wasn't the real Mastermind, then Logan's still lost in the illusion. And as Logan tries to navigate through this, he says here, I try to track Mastermind, but I feel like most folks must feel stumbling through the dark. No landmarks, no reference points, nothing to hold on to. I've been to other planets, to other time periods, other dimensions. I ain't easy to rattle. But this place is getting to me. And that's where Mastermind hits Logan with the rapid fire insults, like they're coming from his mother, with her calling him devil spawn and saying things like, of course I left you behind. Look at you, little beast, you're no son of mine. But then eventually Logan's like, you're right, I ain't your son. I'm Elizabeth Howlett's son, the real Elizabeth. And my mother wasn't a monster or a villain. She was a damaged, troubled woman, stuck in a stifling life. She did the best she could, but she had to lash out at someone. I was just the safest target. I've been carrying the hurt from that my whole life, telling myself it ain't right to blame her for it, that a man just pushes it all down. But seeing how vulnerable I was to a low-rent mind game run by a scrawny dirtbag who smells like mothballs helped me realize it ain't right to blame myself either. I wasn't a monster. I wasn't a beast or a demon. I was a scared little kid who needed his mama, and I deserved something better than all the hurt I got. And now after Logan gives this profound speech on his enlightenment, a door pops up. And when he sees it, he's like, oh, that's my way out. It's on now. But then when he walks through, only to find himself back at the Howlett estate, Logan's not sure if this is still part of the illusion, because he's not sure if he's been here at the estate the whole time, or if he was ever really there. He's not sure about who's alive, who's dead. He really can't trust anything anymore. But the only thing he knows for certain is that Mastermind's behind this. And even now, Mastermind, he's still in mother mode, which again just goes to show how unhinged he is at this point. So when he asks Logan, is this all you are then, son? Just an angry animal who'd kill his own mother. Logan just goes after him, claws out. So of course Mastermind puts out all kinds of obstacles to protect himself. But at this point, Logan's like, killing ain't new to me. Hell, I've killed more people in my lifetime than most folks have met in theirs. And Logan's like, he's been forced into doing it. He's been tricked into doing it. He's done it when it's ripped him apart inside and when it's felt good. But in the here and now, with him going after Jason Wingard, after he's mocked every bit of pain that Logan's ever felt, Logan's just like, I've never needed to kill as bad as I do right now. And man, when Logan gets to Mastermind, he goes off. And he's like, as I finish the job, my body seems to move on its own. My blood is pounding hard in my ears. So hard that I almost missed Mastermind's last words. And that's where Logan hears him say, you know, as Jason's coughing up all that blood, but Logan hears him say, are you sure this is real, Wolverine? Will you ever be sure again? And those are the last words he hears Mastermind say, which kinda makes Logan wonder a bit, like, is this over for real or are we still going? So as he leaves, he takes his time to kind of get his bearings again, and as he does, he thinks to himself, and just like that, it's over. There's a rush of satisfaction in a moment like this, a sense that the world is right, but it never lasts. And as soon as that rush is gone, the doubt and the loss and the pain come calling again, like old drinking buddies you just can't shake. I need to get out of here. Now. With Mastermind dead, I have expected the Howlett estate to vanish, just another illusion turned to smoke. Hell, maybe I'm hoping it'll disappear, but the old place stays where it is, the bulk of it like a storm cloud against the sky. My past never did know when to call it quits. If I'm being honest, part of me still ain't sure what's real and what's not, but you gotta start somewhere. So I start with the ground beneath my feet. It's solid, but it has give. Some kind of lesson there, I suppose. The rain releases all the buried scents of the land. It starts to smell like life and possibility, the way it did when I was a kid. I tell myself this, at least, is real. I tell myself, it's gotta be. So yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments if you think this is the last time we're seeing Mastermind. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. And if you've been following this playlist, let me know if Mastermind's illusion had you fooled at any point in time. Cause like I said before in the beginning, it had me. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.
Yo, yeah, man. Oh shit, wow. Well, to answer your question, yeah. Mastermind did have me fooled because I really believe and was hoping, man. Damn, man, that would be Logan's mother. But I'm like, but something's up. Something's up. We're going to find out Mastermind was behind it all. And yep, and hopefully that was really him because, boy, yeah, he really deserved all of those slashings from from Wolverine, as anyone would do in their right mind. Cause that was really foul. Oh, like super foul, beyond foul, right there. So now I'll be wondering too about a mansion. There's led to believe that he created it out of his mind controlling powers. That it was still standing. Hmm. But yeah, so he ended up getting slashed up to bits. Well, not to bits, but yeah, with his last words kind of got me curious. I'm like, man, I don't know. So it just got me really excited, filled with anticipation for the next issue. So yeah, no, check it out. Follow Dope Spill Comics. Check him out, follow, and yeah, because he's consistent. There's another consistent brother. So yeah, whom have a bunch of different playlists. So yeah, check him out, and then yeah, man, just let me know what you guys think about that. About Wolverine, him believing that it was his mother, but it was actually Mastermind using him by projecting an image from his mind. Okay, let's go. Let's see.
Well, my friends, I'm back with another unfortunate update about HBO's upcoming Game of Thrones series. It looks like we might finally have our answer regarding if we will ever see Jon Snow back in Westeros again. Game of Thrones lead actor Kit Harington sounds like he's officially done with Jon Snow. And while Game of Thrones may have ended over 6 years ago, author George R.R. Martin's epic fantasy saga is still alive and well, with even more successor shows on the way. As many of you already know, one of the Game of Thrones shows they had in development was about Jon Snow's life after the events of the final season. And the idea for this show was actually delivered by Game of Thrones actor Kit Harington. But now it actually sounds like he's done for good. The days of him being seen as Jon Snow are over. In a recent interview at Variety, he was asked if he would ever do the voiceover for Jon Snow in a Game of Thrones audio book. The actor said, "No, God no. I don't want to go anywhere near it. I was already Jon Snow for over a decade. Thanks, but I'm alright." As you can see, now it suddenly sounds like he doesn't want anything to do with that character. I know I'm not overreacting either because almost everyone else has read his statement the same way. And while I certainly do understand why an actor might want to take a break from a character they embodied for roughly a decade, I must admit, I was a little shocked by the way he dismissed that idea. I don't remember him acting like this a year ago. In fact, he starred in a commercial for one of those Game of Thrones mobile games that was released only a year ago.
You know nothing.
No, don't.
What?
Don't do it.
I was just gonna say.
Well, don't say it.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
And we all know the only reason why he was hired for that commercial was because of his association with Game of Thrones, and even more specifically, Jon Snow. He did not seem to have any issues with his connection to Jon Snow then, so why is he suddenly so against the idea now? Remember, it was his idea to do the Jon Snow show from the very beginning. It's not like HBO or George R.R. Martin was begging him to do it. We know this because author George R.R. Martin revealed exactly how much he was involved with developing that show. The author said yes, there is a Jon Snow show in development. Our working title for that show is Snow. The show has been in development almost as long as the others, but for whatever reason, it was never announced and it never leaked until now. It seems as though Emilia Clarke has already mentioned that Snow was Harington's idea in a recent interview, so that information is already out there. I can confirm it was Kit Harington who brought the idea to us. I cannot announce the names of the writers or showrunners, but he brought them as well, his own guys, and they are amazing. Mr. Harington, along with his writers and showrunners, have met with me here at my home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, so we could start working out their ideas for the show. Not only was it his idea to make the Jon Snow show, but he was so heavily invested in the idea he brought on his own writer so they could basically make the show he wanted. All of this started happening shortly after Game of Thrones ended, when the actor had already filled the shoes of Jon Snow for over a decade. Yet he was still ready to do more. He was not ready to leave Jon Snow the way Game of Thrones writers David and Dan left him. I know I certainly fully understood why he wanted to give Jon Snow a better ending. I was one of the only creators who actually supported that idea. The only reason this didn't happen is because they were unable to deliver a show that made them feel satisfied. And again, only a year ago, when asked about why the Jon Snow show wasn't happening, Kit Harington said, "I hadn't really ever discussed this because it was still in development. I did not want that information leaked out there that it was being developed, and I didn't want the thing to happen where the fans start theorizing, getting either excited about it or hating the idea when it may never actually happen. When in development, you look at every angle, and you see whether it's worth it, and as of right now it's not. We were not able to find the right story to tell that we're all excited about. So we decided to lay it down for now. There may come a day down the road when we all come back together, but at the moment, no. We're no longer developing the show." As you can see, it was only a year ago when he said he was still open to the idea of making a Jon Snow show if they could come up with a better story. He was also still making commercials that reference some of Jon Snow's most famous lines from the show. I wonder why he now seems almost offended by the idea of him stepping into the role of Jon Snow again, even when it is something as small as doing the voiceover for an audio book. Well, I guess we're not going to see him in a Game of Thrones sequel series anytime soon. The actor is officially done with Jon Snow, at least for now. At the end of the day, I can't be mad if he never wants to star as him again. I do understand why he doesn't only want to be remembered for that character. However, with that being said, I think it also sucks because I always hoped he would find a way to fix Game of Thrones' ending. Whether that was with making an additional season of the show, or a sequel series that reshaped how we saw the final season. I do still think there will be a day when most of the actors who survive the final season will get together to make something that extends the original show. It is hard to say how things will work out with the franchise now that Netflix is about to buy Warner Bros. And HBO. It will be interesting to see what happens with Game of Thrones and all their other shows in the A Song of Ice and Fire universe after they are officially acquired by Netflix. When or if that does happen, I'll be here as always to let you know if anything exciting or interesting is announced regarding this subject. Let me know what you think about his recent statement down below. I want to hear what you have to say about the actor's sudden divorce from Jon Snow. Now, before I get out of here, I'm going to give you a bonus video because I know most of you haven't seen it. It's a video about how Joffrey Baratheon continues to ruin all of HBO's upcoming Game of Thrones shows. Like he did with House of the Dragon, he revealed how one of Dunk and Egg's most infamous characters will die. Have a look for yourself if you haven't already. In this video, I will be discussing the life and death of one of the central figures and villains in HBO's upcoming Game of Thrones series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Now, the fate of this monstrous character was already revealed during the third season of Game of Thrones when Joffrey gave Margaery a history lesson about some of the infamous members of House Targaryen.
The ashes of Aerion Targaryen, Aerion Brightflame, they called him. He thought drinking wildfire would turn him into a dragon. He was wrong.
Likely only a throwaway scene at the time, that moment in Game of Thrones history has become iconic because Joffrey ultimately revealed significant events that would later be shown in House of the Dragon and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. In those scenes, Joffrey described exactly what happened to Rhaenyra, as well as Aerion Brightflame Targaryen, the same man who was seen fighting Sir Duncan the Tall in HBO's first official trailer for the Dunk and Egg show. Famously known for his erratic and irrational nature, Aerion Targaryen's life and death symbolizes the dangers of an overinflated ego, obsession, and madness. Aerion's life ended in a manner as fiery and reckless as his character. As described by Joffrey Baratheon, Aerion Brightflame Targaryen died after he swallowed wildfire in a desperate attempt to transform himself into a dragon. That's right, my friends, he actually thought he could become a dragon simply by ingesting wildfire. Aerion's insistence on becoming a dragon, combined with his obsessive drive to surpass others in his family, is a stark reminder of his madness or lack of wisdom and reason. Now, if you haven't read the Dunk and Egg novellas, you might not be that familiar with Aerion Brightflame. He will be officially introduced in the upcoming first season of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and he will be the reason why we see Sir Duncan the Tall fighting for his life in the trial by 7. While at the tourney at Ashford Meadow, Aerion Targaryen will physically assault a girl known as Tansel Too-Tall, a puppeteer who offended him after she depicted one of the dragons losing a battle in her show. Aerion was unaware of the fact that Sir Duncan had already become fond of Tansel. Not only was he attracted by her striking features, but he also enjoyed her shows, and he even hired her to decorate his shield with his very own sigil. So as you can imagine, Sir Duncan wasn't about to just stand aside while Aerion assaulted this girl, even if he was a member of the royal family. When Sir Duncan finally arrived on scene, he suddenly heard the sound of bones breaking as Aerion broke one of her fingers. Sir Duncan was obviously shocked, unable to believe what he was actually witnessing. 3 long strides, then Dunk grabbed Aerion by the shoulder and wrenched him around hard. His sword and dagger were forgotten, along with everything else the old man Sir Arlen had ever shown him. His fist knocked Aerion right off his feet, and he slammed his boot right into the prince's belly. When Aerion went for his knife, Sir Duncan stepped on his wrist and kicked him again, only this time it was right in the face. He might have even kicked him to death right then and there, but Aerion's men swarmed over him. He had a man on each arm, and another hitting him across the back. Finally, he was overwhelmed by all the men. They held him down by his arms and legs while Aerion got back on his feet. His mouth was bloody, and even one of Aerion's teeth were loose. That was when Aerion asked Dunk, "Why did you throw your life away for this whore?" "She's scarcely worth it. She's a traitor. The dragon should never lose." He is mad, Dunk thought, but he is still the prince's son, and he means to kill me. Now this right here is the inciting incident that will lead to the epic finale when Sir Duncan and Aerion Brightflame Targaryen face off in a trial by 7, as seen in HBO's first official trailer for the show. Now I'm not going to go into all those details right here because we'll see all of this unfold in the show in only a few months. I just think it's funny how Joffrey spoils yet another one of HBO's upcoming Game of Thrones successor shows. That scene revealed the death of one of the greatest villains in the Dunk and Egg novellas. And as I said earlier, Joffrey and Margaery's scene also reveals the death of Rhaenyra Targaryen. I actually made a video about that already during the first season of House of the Dragon. Unfortunately for Rhaenyra, her death is even more horrific than Aerion's wildfire mishap. Once again, Joffrey describes it wonderfully. Rhaenyra is eventually murdered by her half-brother's dragon, Sunfire. As her son watched in horror, Aegon's dragon ate her bit by bit, and whatever was left of her was buried down there below the streets of King's Landing. Everyone eventually dies by the end. This also isn't the only scene from Game of Thrones that spoiled House of the Dragon. Shireen Baratheon also described what would happen during the series while having a final conversation.
Okay, well, enough for that one. But shout out to that gentleman. Yeah, shout out to him. But yeah, man, Jon Snow rejecting it. I mean, yeah, just I don't know, man. Just that's what happens. When actors who play good, decent roles, who that's been long term, and they end up quitting because of bullshit, that's going on behind the scenes. With the writers, directors, and all them. So production, yeah, it's just he just got fed up with it. He's like, I'm tired. He's like, I don't want to. I don't want to go back into that world. Seems like he's just trying to stay as far as he can away from it. Oops. So yeah, I'm just thinking like Jon Snow. I mean, man, like it would have been great to see a show, of the aftermath, of all what happened, with the war and everything, the aftermath of what went on with Jon Snow. It seemed like, man, they knew the fans, man, they knew us fans would be eager, wanting to see that. So, but uh, just bullshit. But yeah, let's go to the next one.
Now that's an M. Bison. Now that is an M. Bison. See, for those of you that do not know, I was a fan of John Cena from the prototype all the way up to the Marine. After the Marine, they decided to go PG. He fell out of favor with the fans, and they still pushed him over and 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 over again to nausea. And that's the reason why I don't like the John Cena character today. But that's only one iteration of the character that he carried on with until his retirement. I don't give a flying about that character. But all the iterations from the prototype to the Marine, I really liked. Now that's out of the way. I enjoy John Cena as an actor. And someone sent this to me, and I was like, I didn't think about it. But that is M. Bison. See, if you think about it, while Bison is stationed in Thailand, Originally, in the Japanese game, that story, his name is Vega. That's usually attributed to Spanish men or Spanish-speaking countries. Vega. Now, the way they drew him, way he's animated in the anime movie, which is the true adaptation of the video game to the big screen, he appears to be a European man with, what color is that skin? I'm a little colorblind, just so you know, but yeah, it's unearthly. It's an evil tone to that skin, along with the white eyes. So, I think that is a perfect representation of what M. Bison should look like. And if you look at the video games, he's never, ever looked that bad, looked like that. That man is a great actor, but this is a miscast. He's not M. Bison. And I'm willing to almost bet anything that when I see this movie, that he does not come off as scary or imposing or anything like that. I'm just willing to bet, mainly because that sneak peek, that teaser that they put out looked goofy. There are people that say they can't see the goofiness in it. That's fine. If you can't see it, I can. They claim they can't see the camp. They can't see the goofiness. One thing that I talked about was the fact that they showed Ryu doing the whole, and it looked stupid. That's just one thing. I already talked about that. If you watch the anime movie, they give a wink, a nod to that, while Ryu and Ken are training as teenagers, as young men. But they never show it again. Because they know it doesn't really look right. Okay? That's what I mean. If you pull in, we'll see if maybe they'll only wink or nod to it in this movie. Maybe they will. However, it's the overall look of all the characters while being accurate. Accuracy doesn't always translate properly to big film. Now, so some people are also saying that it's a guy throwing a fireball. That's not goofy. Listen, you can try to dismiss our claims of Street Fighter being serious, but you listen, you're not getting past us, okay? Because you literally can dismiss any fantasy story in that way. Any of them. Oh man, robots that transform into cars? That's not goofy. A man that can fly and shoot beams out? That's not goofy.
I can't stand when they talk like that, boy.
A guy that dresses up as a bat? That's not goofy. You can say it about any fantasy story, okay? The fact of the matter is, Street Fighter is a serious story with comedic beats and certain comedic characters sprinkled in and out. Overall, the story is serious. Overall, the tone is serious. And who created Street Fighter 2? The Japanese. And every single translation to film animation that they've done, that I've seen, the majority of them, other than campy, maybe commercials that they've done, they've all been serious takes. There's the anime original movie. There's the Street Fighter Alpha movie. I think they did a second one. There may even be a third one. I don't know if they did a third one. Also, they did one for Street Fighter 4. That one was serious. Or Street Fighter 5, that one was serious. They were all serious. So you're going to say the people that created the game, that created the storyline, they're all lying? Is that what you're saying? The Americans are only the ones that created something goofy and figured that's the way to do things. Raul Julia was horrible. Absolutely miscast for M. Bison. I remember when I found out, I couldn't believe it. I was like, they only gave him that part because of his big eyes. That's the only reason why they did it. And Bison's eyes aren't really... I mean, in certain pictures, they are big, but that's because he's bugging out. He's, the psycho power crap. But when he's drawn normally, talking to people, his eyes aren't like that. I'm like, they picked Raul Julia because his big eyes. And when I saw the movie, I was like, God, he's horrible. And some people, like I said, that movie has a place in your heart. It's the stupid, quote unquote, fun movie. It's your guilty pleasure. It worked for you. I already said, there's bad movies that I like, Revenge of the Fallen. I like it only because they made Prime such a badass in that movie, as opposed to his first one. He had Megatron kicking his butt all over the place at the end. That didn't happen in the series like that. So I was very disappointed with that from the first movie. But the fact that they made him so dominating in the second one, even though they took him out, it took, 3 of them to take him out, and a distraction for him looking for Sam, for them to take him out. You know what I'm saying? So, my whole point for making this video is to talk about that picture. And there's also a Henry Cavill one going around. So if anyone knows who made these, guys, you did an excellent, excellent job. I like accuracy. I like these characters to be portrayed in the way that they were meant to be portrayed. Okay? They weren't, meant to be portrayed in this stupid manner. I'm willing to bet that this movie, it comes out, it's going to bomb. I could be wrong, and I will admit it like a man if I'm wrong. I've went through different videos, and it seems to split the fan base. There are people that I respect that are liking this. This is Superman all over again. This reminds me of the Superman suit, specifically, all over again. And just because something is accurate, like I said, it does not mean that it translates perfectly to film. It doesn't, okay? Heath Ledger's Joker is not any type of carbon copy from the comic books. Scars and all that. Look, that's not the Joker. But it worked, didn't it? There are several versions of the Joker that worked. Now, look at Jack Nicholson. His was pretty much like a very comic book version, even though the Joker's usually portrayed as, Jack's got that round face. His more of an angular, narrower face. That's how Joker's usually drawn. But yeah, he was more comic accurate, and he also worked. So both can work. I just don't think this is going to work. Cody Rhodes looks like an absolute moron in that wig. I feel bad for Cody for them doing that to him. I would have never taken the part. Now, John Cena could play Guile, or he could play M. Bison. Henry Cavill is an excellent Bison in that picture that I showed you, right? Bison is imposing, okay? He's not... I don't understand how could... I only saw a couple of comments where people actually say, I think the guy's going to make a good Bison. But you haven't looked at Bison in these different versions of the game, okay? And some people are saying, oh, well, they're just following the recent Street Fighter 6. That's gotten goofier. How do you know that? Because this is following Street Fighter 2. These are clearly all Street Fighter 2 characters. The majority of them are all Street Fighter 2 characters. And their look that they're going with. I just think, oh man, I think this is gonna be bad. I think this is gonna be bad. Even Street Fighter 6 is still a serious story. You can have comedic characters and still have a serious story. Okay. That is very true. All right, just because Dan's comedic, oh, El Fuerte, oh yeah. So what? You can have comedic characters in a serious story, and it's been that way. So I am preparing for this to bomb badly, and it just looks like a bunch of cosplay, and some of it looks like actually really good cosplay. Like Cammy looks like really good cosplay. Although that's not Cammy, looks like good cosplay. Although it's not Chun-Li, that looks like good cosplay. Guile looks like bad cosplay. Bison looks like cosplay. He looks like a dude that doesn't look like Bison, but that's his favorite character from Street Fighter, so he decided to dress up as Bison that day. You get what I'm saying? 50 is probably the most accurate. Ryu doesn't look like Ryu, but I get it. It does. Ken looks like Ken pretty much. Those two are probably closer to being the most accurate. Akuma's also Japanese, but with him and his more demonic looks, I could see why they went with Roman Reigns just to, I get it. Because I think even in Assassin's Fist, the guy that played him isn't Asian. I think the guy that played him is actually a Spanish dude, I think. Hispanic? I can't remember though. I could be wrong. That's a Bison, okay? I'm a fan of John Cena's acting. I think he's funny, and I think he can be serious. And there's people saying that, well, if he was cousin, he ain't got the range. How do you know he don't have the range? How do you know what John Cena can do? Because Bison is mostly portrayed as stoic. And every once in a while he goes psycho. But he's mostly portrayed as stoic. So, and yes, he has different bodies that he uses, but I've never seen in any of the lore him using a body like that dude. Come on now. Like, stop. So, there have been versions, translations of different media, whether it's video games or comic books, to the big screen. And some have been comedic and some have been serious. And both styles have worked. It's just the execution. And I think that the execution of this is horrible. People are saying they're getting Kung Fu Hustle and Kill Bill vibes. Yeah, both of them didn't really work for me like that. So, I've only seen them all once. All those movies I've only seen once, so Kill Bill was over the top and extra with all the blood spread all over the place like they had a damn hose. It was just, to me, it was stupid, but it was just an all right, thing. It just went way too over the top. You can say that anything fantastical is over the top, but you can ground something that's over the top properly. Okay, Nolan did that. With his trilogy, with his Batman trilogy. Okay, it is over the top for a rich billionaire to dress like a bat, swing around the city, speed around in his fast bat-shaped car, bat-shaped plane, okay, beating up criminals, chasing a Joker clown villain. That's all over the top, but he grounded it perfectly. Don't tell me that something that anyone could say is goofy can't be grounded into more seriousness. The comics did it. The comics have done serious and goofy portrayals of most of these comic book characters. So don't try to just dismiss people that are giving you evidence of all the seriousness in this storyline. The overall storyline of Street Fighter is very, very serious with comedic characters and beats. That's it. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Do you think John Cena makes a better Bison, visually at least, than the other dude that they chose? Okay? I don't care. Let me tell you something. looks matter. Looks matter when you're doing character design, when you're doing casting. Looks definitely matter. Many people are saying Josh Brolin. Yeah, I don't know how big Josh Brolin is, but he has the voice. He's graying now, so if you look at different versions of Bison, like the one in, 5, he's got gray hair. I think the new one does too, right? The one that entered on horseback in 6. He has gray hair. He has white hair. I think he does. Maybe Brolin would need to put on some size or whatever. But yes, Bison has different bodies, but it seems like every single body that he's chosen has been imposing. Okay, they've been different sizes. He's been different sizes of bulk. But one thing that's never missing is that imposing look of his. He never looks like just some dude that decided to cosplay. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all think. If you enjoyed my video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!
Yeah, shout out to Tyrone Magnus. Shout out to him. That's that brother right there. Shout out to him. And yeah, he's right. Like, it's a serious story overall. You know, with some comedic situations and mixed with some comedic characters. And I'm with him on that. I haven't seen the trailer for Street Fighter yet, but I will, best believe, to see what these characters look like, including Bison. And yeah, and I would say Henry Cavill and John Cena. More predominantly, John Cena could play a decent good role of a Bison. Man, yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, and if this Bison man is looking like the last Bison, then like barely any bulk at all. Yeah, I'm like, oh man, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? And that girl that plays Chun Li in the older Chun Li movie, who also is the same girl who played as Lana Lane in the Smallville series. Yeah, I couldn't take her seriously as no damn Chun Li. So, but yeah, but so that was awesome. You know, that was a cool, good little idea. I was like, damn. I'm like, yeah, let me share this with you guys because, I had those same thoughts too. I'm like, yeah, well, because that'd be awesome to see. If they did do something like that, uh, made John Cena play as Bison, that would have been awesome. But yeah, in our last video, right now, before I wrap this up and get us ready for Dave Chappelle's new stand-up special, let's check out brother Eddie Griffin. So yeah, here we go with the news that he brings. And shout out to him for he has his own YouTube channel. And this is that. So let's go.
Welcome to another installment of internet where we give it to you straight, no chaser. John Cena officially retired, and everybody's mad at Triple H for having him scripted to lose. And I'm trying to trip on what y'all mad about. It wasn't real any goddamn way. He did the same as somebody else that retired. And now they saying Cena's the greatest of all time. I guess Ric Flair is just not alive, huh? Hulk Hogan just out your memory, but the racist motherfucker anyway. Y'all just pick a new GOAT every goddamn 15 minutes. Y'all ridiculous. And it's all fake. John Cena didn't lose because they really didn't scrap. It's scripted. H had the writer's writing to lose, because he did it to somebody else. And now to get back, he had to go out losing. We'll be right back after this fake-ass commercial break. You silly-ass sons of bitches. This brother invented this brand new toothbrush, as though we needed it, but he did it anyway.
I invented the first 3-in-1 toothbrush that brushes your teeth, flosses in between your teeth, and is a tongue scraper all in one device. You may have seen that the silicone whispers maneuver up and down instead of side to side because that's actually how you're supposed to brush your teeth. The silicone whispers also means that you don't have to buy a new toothbrush every 2 weeks because this one literally lasts forever.
It's supposed to floss, brush, and clean your tongue all at the same time. I bought one. Now, as soon as I get it, I'm gonna come back and let y'all know if the motherfucker works or not. But it comes with purple toothpaste. So I don't know if he's related to Prince or not. But yeah, the purple toothpaste, I don't get that. Maybe it's got some kind of, you know, whitening shit in it, and it's just purple where you can see the stains on your teeth. And if you didn't get it good, the purple shit won't just leave you with a purple mouth like you've been eating blueberries or something. Yeah, the purple supposed to take the yellow out. Why you gotta make it Laker colors? Don't nobody wanna brush their teeth with the Lakers. Next they're gonna come with a 3-in-1 toilet paper. Wipes your ass, gets rid of the dookelberries, and cleans your hands all at the same time. We'll be right back after this commercial break. It's sports season. Games are heating up and fans are tuning in. And everyone's talking picks. But here's the real play. Why use your own money to fund your sports wagering when you could use a line of credit instead? Introducing the G-Bank Visa Signature Credit Card, built specifically for sports fans and gamers. This card lets you fund your favorite sports wagering platforms like FanDuel, DraftKings, and more. And it's one of the only credit cards that actually gets approved on those platforms. You also can earn 1% cash back rewards on eligible gaming and sports app loads. So you're literally getting rewarded for what you're doing already. Click the link in my bio or scan the QR code to apply. The application is fast, and if you sign up using our referral link, you'll get $50 cash back reward bonus when you get approved and verified. Stop spending your own cash. Fund smarter, play smarter, get rewarded. Welcome back to NNN, where we give it to you straight, no chaser. Ice Spice. Look, I don't know who raised you, but they need their ass whooped. And I don't know who's handling you and dressing you, but they need their ass whooped too. You going to a Disney child film with your drawers hanging out in a see-through dress and had a nerve to get up to address the children.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I've never seen the film, so this will be my first time too.
What? Your mama need her ass whooped. Yeah, you got hot drawers like a mother. Yeah, your drawers are definitely spicy. Cayenne pepper panty wearing bitch. Fuck out of here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Not necessarily in that order. Don't forget to check us out on Rady Plus. Even the police is getting tired of the hood rat dramas. Check it out.
You're not gonna do nothing, man? Hey, what the fuck? Wait, what are you watching?
Don't worry about it, man. Don't fucking worry about it.
Hey, what the hell? Hey, yo, like, do your fucking job.
Dude, honestly, man, fucking 2 minutes for my shift.
He said, it ain't my shift. That bitch is going to town on the windshield with a goddamn wrench, and he drove the off. My sentiment exactly. I'd have did the same thing. I deal with that shit yourself. You stuck it again, I didn't. Let me give y'all a real story, all right? Where the police just said, we was in Memphis, and we got outside this club I was performing at, and this female just started busting in the air. I kill all the motherfuckers. They don't know me, motherfucker. I'll run this bitch. You understand me? What the what? And we sitting there talking to police. He's like, yeah, LeBron. I'm like, yeah, LeBron. You see her shooting right across the street. You know what that motherfucker said? That ain't my jurisdiction. Now, anyway, like I said, LeBron, you know what I'm saying? Because she was the club owner. So she had carte in that motherfucker. And I guess she caught him another one of the waitresses, and she started shooting. And them bitches cleared the fuck out of there. And the owner, well, I don't know if he's still alive. We'll be right back after this commercial break. The Epstein files is supposed to be dropped Friday. But I don't know, because I'm taping this on Thursday. But y'all gonna see it Monday. So let me know. Well, I'm gonna show you what you're gonna see. Check it out. Wow. Yep. He released it. You got nothing. And now we're at war with Venezuela. What a beautiful distraction. This orange motherfucker is slicker than grease. But he ain't so slick that another greaser won't do it. Oh, they left some names on the file for your amusement. Every black celebrity that was over there, you know, they tossing them to the wolves. Yeah, you was going at Trump extra hard. They putting your shit all the way out there. Be careful where you stick your people, and make sure there's no cameras around. Or you just like normal people. Stop all of them animal sex and birds and bugs crawling out your ass and but I don't know what the kind of freak y'all into, but you took an island to do what y'all was doing. Did he just did it in his house? So imagine if he's baby oiling up every nigga rapper in the business. God damn it. Imagine what they were doing at Epstein Island. Shit, they had birds and chickens plucking bugs off of niggas' dicks. They had snakes, anacondas, wrapping bitches' pussies, and ramming their head all up in it. They had some shit going on there. A couple of people died. A whole lot of animals died too, but, you know, that's par for the course. You know them rich white people, they like to hunt. That's why you go in their houses, they always got an elephant head or a lion head, some bears that they done stuffed, that they done shot. Wonder if they got some of them stuffed children. Shit, there was no greased pig, they found some greased hippos. They like they big, they everything big. Pigs is for the broke motherfuckers. That's what them, you know, they call it cow tipping. You know, they sneak up behind the cow, get in the ass. I mean, who came up with this as a sport? Two teens, that's the way they tied it. Two teens were shot at this car wash, and the families are seeking $800,000. But we know they were white because that's the only description they gave. They were teens. So two white teens beat the shit out this old white woman trying to steal her motherfucking car. She shot both of them motherfuckers dead on arrival, as they should have been. Young sons of bitches. Got no respect for your elders. You don't steal a car, motherfucker. And she wasn't even there. That wasn't even her car. She works at the car wash. These motherfuckers come to a car wash to steal a car and end up dead. And now the families of these two retarded children want to sue Grandma for $800,000 for killing them two wretched motherfuckers. That shit, sons of bitches. Counter sue them. Counter sue them. Say, I need $40. $20 a bullet, sons of bitches. We'll be right back after this commercial break. I don't know if these are AI generated, but I just find them hilarious. Yeah, white people are having a hard time because they just keep on with the artist rendition of these motherfucking criminals and missing dads. Check it out.
Urgent message from police. They're looking for a missing dad.
The girl only had a drawing of her father. She didn't have a photo, just this drawing of her father.
Have an update from police.
Officers have now located the father just moments ago.
Again, another Picasso. I don't know who these 3-year-old, 4-year-old children is, but just give them a scholarship to the Art Institute. They hit that mother spot on. Welcome back to the internet. We'll be giving it to you straight, no chaser. Breaking news, because somebody just got their jaw broke. That motherfucker got hit so hard, he said, "I love you." Check it out.
I'm trying to fuck out both of them. All right, enough. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. You nasty. I'm trying to help you. I love you, dude. I'm trying to help you.
I love you, man. Stop. He beat that motherfucker into love. I love you. Please stop. Well, it's another case of they done f***ed around and found out. So his drunk ass girl got his ass whooped. He came in trying to save a hoe, threw that cape on, and that cape beautifully got snatched off, and he fell in love. Because they said people who swear a lot and stay up late have higher intelligence. Well, goddamn. Look at my cerebellum cortex. I got a lot of wrinkles in my gray matter. Does not matter. Listen to the Mad Hatter come with that shit way, way fatter. Skirt!
Oh, do you want to do a Merry Christmas one? Just saying like Merry Christmas?
Hell no. Fuck Christmas. And keep that. Keep that where you said that too, nigga. Christmas. Ain't no white man breaking in my house without getting shot. And I don't trust no presents for the motherfuckers neither. Might be a bomb or some shit. And Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you know why his nose is red? He's yeah, that cocaine. That's why they was flying. They was high in a motherfucker. Yeah. They had a whole different kind of snow. And then Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, I know you've been in my stash tonight. Then I'm gonna kill that reindeer, snorting all my cocaine. Our condolences go out to the Carlton family. Carl Carlton, AKA, she's a bad mama jamma. Wow, just as fine as she can be. Hey! Rest in peace, brother. Welcome back to NNN, where we give it to you straight, no chaser. There was a mass shooting in Australia, and it was a bolt-action, high-powered rifle, and it hit this motherfucker in the head. And this motherfucker was doing a full interview right after that. Yeah, them Australians are built different. You know what I mean? That ain't no head. That's a skull. That's a skull. In closing, I'd like to wish everybody happy holidays, no matter what you're celebrating. Stay safe, enjoy your family, and enjoy this robbery attempt.
3 absolute geniuses decided to rob a gold shop. The leader smashes the door, and his partner instantly knocks him out with a brick. Genius move. A guard shows up. Our hero runs for it, but the getaway driver, he just leaves with an empty seat. Next day, they try again. This time, the third guy throws the brick and immediately ducks for cover. He thinks he's safe, but that brick has a mind of its own. Bullseye! A quick getaway, sort of. The final attempt. Now, the third guy has learned his lesson. He's just the lookout, keeping a very safe distance. The brick hits the glass and bounces right back. You know where this is going. Bonk! The thrower tries again, and somehow knocks himself out too.
First blood! Double kill! Triple kill! Quadra kill!
Eddie Griffin, the one and only. And I'm out! Scared!
Yes. Thank you, man. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me through this live stream. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's brother Eddie Griffin, man. Shout out to him and go check his channel out and subscribe. Subscribe. Yeah, man. Oh, first of all, those teenage boys, they deserve what they got. You know, they was very foolish and stupid, and hopefully, damn it, that's such um a lesson for for other dumb kids in the future to not do the same dumb shit. You know, which is what they did to that elderly woman, beating on her, and then and then they end up getting sent to the shadow realm. That's fitting, very fitting. And Ice Spice, he showed. Ice Spice was speaking at this what was it an event to showcase the new SpongeBob movie that she plays in, showing up with a see-through dress on, basically at a whole kids event. I mean, but that's to be expected, man, with these wildlings. You know, what I mean, like why motherfuckers keep acting surprised of what these wild creatures be doing? Like, they do something crazy, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise because you should expect such crazy shit from such creatures who are posing as if they are women, but they're not because true women don't dress like that, especially especially an event that's for this of a movie that's for kids. You don't uh, bitches is all ratchet, and then that kid messing with that cop and did damn it hell that and then that cop continued drove past. That cop was like, "Oh, this is." Uh, he was like, I'm not on work. I'm not on duty right now. Damn it." He continued to drove past while that girl continued to bash that boy's windshield. I bet you his ass would have got out there if he would have drove fast. If that dude was just took off while that chick was on the hood of his car and she just flew off, yeah, the motherfucker had to get out then. Oh, boy, there's no reason why, damn it, you want to stay away from them crazy ass broads. That's them type of crazy ass broads do. They didn't mention the Epstein files. I'm like, hey, it is what it is. What they're gonna do, when if shit really comes out, what are they gonna do? What's likely to happen? Other than that, hey, it is what it is. Um, Trump gets caught up, he gets caught up. Oh well, I don't give a damn. but uh, but yeah. Mm. Yeah, that was our brother Eddie Griffin. So thank you guys for coming through. That was all the videos we have for this one. The next one, I'll be getting it ready, set up for us to check out Dave Chappelle's new stand up. All right. And please hit the like, share, and follow on your way out, as well as hit the Cash App to bless your boy, Ray Hama, the Hama Force. Bless the Hama Force. Hit the Cash App. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for all you guys coming through, and shout out to the replay gang. This is your guy, Ray Hama, one versus a million. I'm not your fan. I'm not your stand, for I am your brother. And thank you, God the Most High, for blessing me to live to see another birthday. Amen.